Yes, hello everybody. Hello, everybody. Yes, titties are out. Titties are out. Welcome back. I would have to cut that entire part of the opening from. I am going to have to cut that opening out because I know 100% of a fact that will be a problem. I will get, for whoever watches this in the UK and you're like, why did the stream go down? That song is 100% gonna get blocked somewhere. But yes, everybody, welcome back to the Yacht Block.
At Pokemon22322 became a member.
Yes.
At Pokemon22322 celebrates 8 months of membership. Good morning, Ryder. It's Saturday.
It is Saturday and Sunday. But yes, everybody, you do get blasted by my titties. But yes, everybody, it is time for the Yacht Block, your one stop shop for everything commentary, news, research, and goings on the internet. I'm your host, FalGXE, coming at you live from a late night Yacht Block Studios chat. I had a good day. I did some homework. I did some other things. I had a lot of shit to do today, but I wanted to make a very special time for y'all. Put a shirt on. Never. Because for all my they, thems, NBs, and especially all my gays, this is for you. And if you're a lesbian, well, it's not for you. But you'll make fun of me anyways because we'll be toxic together. And there's the dog as you see her. Come on, girl. Good girl. That's Leia, everybody. You know what time it is. Tusky with the $1 dollar.
Tusky, Black Devil tipped $1. Fuck you, Falgi. I was about to go to sleep. I have work early tomorrow.
What?
Did you hear about the oil spill relief workers who cleaned 15 dolphins with a single box of borax? Turns out that, just like it says on the box, it's a great multi-purpose cleanser.
Can I ask you a question? Why are you called Tusky the Black Devil? I know it's from last stream, but are we really gonna do this?
At Glumpimenta became a member. At Glumpimenta celebrates 10 months of membership. Nah, bro. I'm fine. You can put the shirt on.
Do you have love for the buys? I always have love for the buys. I always do. Listen, it's the queer agenda. Oh, fuck me.
Sorry for the downer super chat, but my dog passed away tonight and I am absolutely gutted. Please Falgi, give Leo extra love for me, and everyone else please give your furry friends extra love for me.
I will 100% do that. Middleman, I'm very, very sorry for your loss. I know what it's like to lose a pet. Right, even if it's planned or if it's sudden, I really know how to lose a pet, and what that feels like. So, I am very, very sorry for your loss, and I hope take your time. It doesn't necessarily get easy. It just gets a little bit better over time. But yeah, 100%. But thank you for the 10. But yeah, I'm here. I wanted to stream this. I decided on if I was going to stream this topic today, but I guess we'll do a little bit of rundown. Yeah, I've been gone for the week. I had company over, and I tried to stream around it, but I do I don't know about you guys, but I try not to ignore people. And I'm like, yeah, how do you explain to somebody that how do you explain hey, so I stream, and they're like, okay, so what do I do? I'm like, don't show up. And and so I gotta be don't be around. And then I have to explain what that means. And yes, I could take a week off, a day off, but I love you guys. So I wanted to see you guys. So that was pretty much it. No, Pimenta, that's not what I mean. Pimenta, stop. Bad, Pimenta, bad. Down, boy, down. Did you know Falgi has a sex life like he reminds us every stream? That's not what I meant. Oh, no. Come on, that's not how that works, man. Falgi, you stole all of Becca's. So, I've heard about the Beckett sex life cap. Crow, come and find out. You know exactly what you're saying. God, I hate all of you. No. I've heard about the Beckett bald memes. I may have sent one to him. And he said we're all gonna die. I may have sent one to him. And he did say we're all gonna die. What do you mean by that, Fauci? Exactly what I meant. Exactly what I meant. I ain't abashed about it. But no, it's just very, very funny. I see the fucking meme, and I'm just like, what the fuck is happening? Like, literally, what the fuck? God, I need a haircut. My hair is like, so my hair is long again, which is great, right? So my hair is long again. So for all the people who missed long hair Fauci, long hair Fauci is back. It's super curly today. I gotta get like some new product, because so like when I did my long hair, I like didn't really use the same product anymore. So I kind of like need to do it. It's like, it's fine. Long hair Fauci is back. It'll probably just stay about here, maybe a little bit lower. No, Balgy I did. See, again, we've had this discussion, chat. I cannot do Balgy again, because if I do Balgy again, people will think I have cancer again. I can't do that again, chat, because there's a series of caveats to it. I can't just go and pretend that I'm bald again. It's like, actually, the clothing looks like a he said Florence. Oh my god. That is the greatest thing I have ever read. Okay, please, somebody. That goes on the wall.
Tusky, Black Devil tipped $1.
Oh my
To quote
God.
a favorite Caleb City vid, why not? Did you hear about the chess grandmaster who, after
I
he
can't
lost a
do it
match,
again.
destroyed the table with a massive hammer and called lightning bolts down to destroy his opponent's car? He was banned for being a Thor loser.
Thank you. Didn't you like beat cancer? Yeah, so yeah, I did beat cancer. I just can't be bald again. Y'all can't force Fauci to lose the second ball. Don't make him go bald, please. If I go bald, do I lose the second ball for the bit? I don't know. Do I lose the second ball? I don't know yet. But no. Like, what was I talking about before? Yeah, I've seen bald Beckett. I have a picture of bald Beckett. Do I show the picture of bald Beckett? Will you and Beckett cook meth in New Mexico? Okay. Where's is Haas in here? Okay. Hold up. I need to find Haas real quick. I'm gonna message him. Okay. Okay. I can message him because I. Hold up. Oh my god. Yep, that's going on the wall. That's going on the wall somewhere. But yeah, do I dare show you guys the bald Beckett? What do you mean I ignore you? You didn't say anything. If I have a funny bouncy ball, yeah, it's like yeah, you say the bouncy ball joke. I will maybe show. Yes, I do have the Majunga Wumbas meme. I will show that on stream. But you know what? Let's show it a little bit. Camera watch. Okay, thank you. So this is bald Beckett, by the way. For those who don't know, by our own community artist, Majunga Wumba. Bald Beckett for everyone to see. It's so good. It's so good. It's so good. I can't. It's one of the funniest fucking things I've ever seen. He's such an evil little crab man. He's such an evil little crab man. It's so fucking funny. Oh, chat, you guys are killing me tonight. But yes. He looks like bald Gordon Freeman without the red in his head. That is absolutely nightmare. Yeah, but Jungle Wumpa killed this. It is like very special. This is a really good one. We haven't seen Beckett in so long. We don't know if he's not bald anymore because Beckett hasn't been on camera. I think the only way that Beckett can prove that he's not bald is if he goes on camera again. I think that's what you have to do, chat. You have to gaslight Beckett into being on camera again to prove that he's not bald. It's the only way to prove it. He can't prove it any other way. He cannot prove that he is not bald any other way. He should be on camera for Brony Christmas. I mean, probably. It's been a bit. I know he's worked on like multiple I know he's working on videos. Thus is the reason. Oh my god. Who made this? I also got sent another one, but I mean it's from Cope Court, so I don't want to like particularly share that one. Okay, I did see this one. I have seen this one. Who made this one? This was Mooney, right? Mooney made this one, right? Fuck me. Is this payback for him streaming at the same time as you yesterday? Maybe. I think Bald Beckett is great. What's crazy is like, it's so fucking funny, man. Oh, this is so fucking funny. The funny part is like, I know what I look like bald. I know what I look like bald. And so it's actually killing me. Because I'm like, I know. I get it. Bald Becky, that's right, Haas. It is Bald Becky. This guy is Reddit Mod Beckett. It is. It's Reddit Mod Beckett. Oh my god. Holy shit. Holy shit. This is so fun. This is cooked. Not enough neck beard. Interesting. Maybe. Guys, we have to make bald Fauci. I mean, I've already been bald. I have photos of me bald. I have a photo of me bald, so it doesn't like bother me particularly. Oh, was this? Yeah, this was Mooney, I know. Thank you, Pinker. I have like a photo of me bald, so cope and shave. That's insane. Cope and shave is crazy. Don't out me, Picker, it's fine. Yeah, I've been bald before. I was actually like surprised, like when I was bald for cancer, right? Fun fact, because I had like chemotherapy and shit like that. As bald Beckett is on screen. Cancer patient Beckett. Guys, this is why you stop smoking cigarettes. Fuck. Oh, only I can make that joke. So fuck me. Like when I lost my hair, I didn't lose the top of it first. I actually lost my facial hair first. That was a pain in the ass.
That Car IS became a member. That Car IS celebrates 11 months of membership. No chat. Not Bald Falgy. We need Bald Falgy.
Thank you. Wow. Beckett's Make-A-Wish was the YouTube channel? That's fucking insane. Caillou Beckett is actually... Caillou Beckett is actually kind of insane. But yeah, fuck me. Yeah, when I lost my hair, I didn't lose the top of my hair first because I had actually shaved my head. And what? I don't know what Anime Frontier is.
Went to Anime Frontier, women were too pretty, had too much fun, it's time to cringe now.
What is Anime Frontier? X. I actually don't know what that is. Fucking Lex Corpin Seed is actually insane. He does look like Lex Luthor. That's crazy. It's an anime con, yeah, but obviously chat. But I don't know if it's like a big one, a small one, a medium-sized one. You fucks. One of the smaller Texas cons. Okay, cool. I'm glad you're doxing yourself, Axis. But yeah, no, it's interesting losing. Do I have the picture of me bald? Fuck. Do I have the picture of me bald? Now I might not. I'd have to see if I have it real quick. Because I'll at myself on this one. Mr. Clean and Seethe is insane. Let me see if I still have it. Because I may have to like download it off of something because I don't like actually have it. Do they really want to do that, Paisano? I mean, I had cancer. What the fuck are you guys gonna do? Are you guys are gonna shit on me for having cancer? I don't care that I was bald. Do you guys think I give a shit? Let's see. You guys think I care about being bald and having cancer? Do I still have it? I don't think I do anymore. You know what I do, but I have to do this very okay, let me see if I can do this real quick. Because I have to edit it in a very specific way, I guess. Hold up. I have to edit this in a very specific way. Because there's an ex-girlfriend in this fucking photo. I actually have an ex-girlfriend in this photo. That's why I have to edit it in a very specific way. I have to edit this. I look like the Kingpin. I'm not even fucking around, man. I look like the fucking Kingpin. So when I had chemotherapy, I gained weight because of all the steroids. And so increased resolution, sure. What's the worst that can happen? So oh god, that photo is terrible. This photo is also super fucking old. So I had chemotherapy and I lost my hair. I'm sending this to Cloudy and she's not awake right now, so she's gonna be very confused about what I'm doing. So this is gonna be fun. Let's see. Okay. Oh yeah, this is gonna be bad. 3, 2, 1. Yeah, so I was bald in this photo. Yeah, so like, when anyone ever says my hairline is receding, I'm like, bitches, I was fucking bald. And so I gained a lot of weight because of like steroids. Because I was allergic to my chemotherapy. No. I was allergic to my chemotherapy. So like that's absolutely yeah, I've shown some people it. I think this was at a wedding. I can't remember now. I do look like Howie Mandel. You're so fucking right. I am looking like Howie Mandel. Oh no, that's fucked up. That's fucked up. You look like a main villain. Yeah. I'm gonna show something like 1 second. Bro, you look like yeah. I mean, those are also different glasses. Those are very old glasses. But like, yeah, so this is like what I looked like when I like had chemotherapy. I think so at my heaviest, I think I was 210 because like so I had what was known as cisplatin. As well as other different methods, but like this is the thing that you have to understand. Like when you have chemo and like I had predominantly chemo, I didn't have much radiation treatment, if any. But when it comes to chemo, fun fact, it's a poison. Like it is so much. It's so much medication, right? It is a predominant amount of medication, and it is it's metal based. So like mine was cisplatin metal based. So it obviously caused me to lose hair. So this is what I look like bald. So when anyone ever fucking makes fun of me and is like, oh, Falgy, you're losing your hair, you have a bald spot. Yeah, motherfucker, I know what it's like to be bald. I'm not afraid of it.
At the Magical Raccoon became a member. At the Magical Raccoon celebrates 4 months of membership. Bald Italian Noodle Lex Luthor versus Bald Crabman, who would win?
Now here's the problem, chat. Chat, I think we need to donate to this GoFundMe. Beckett is suffering from sudden onset hair loss. And I think the only way to help Beckett is he's gonna fucking kill me. I'm getting a stream. I'm getting a stream of all my worst fucking moments, man. He told me he would. Like this. So, oh God! Tears of Grace is, no, but I would probably find out. I ain't donating! So yes, chat, if you can find it in your heart to get Beckett of Cope and Seethe, hashtag Cope and Hair, a toupee, it'd be greatly appreciated. Beckett suffers from a sudden onset streamer baldness, and it is truly a moment. And I think we all just need a moment of silence for Beckett, and we wish him the best of luck. Thank you, Beckett. And I really hope you get better, buddy. You know, Turkey is waiting for you. Hassan can show you the way. Oh no. Oh no. God, he does look like Ginger Heisenberg. That is absolutely one of the most. Oh, same. I'm the one who knocks. Oh no.
I'm going to help Beckett write a Google Docie on you.
That's fine. That's fine. You should. I'm the one who knocks. Oh my God. Thank you. Oh boy, that's a fucking special one. That's on the board. Thank you. That's a special. That's going to Cope and Seethe, man. Oh no! It's already in there. No. Oh no, Beckett is gonna. Oh, buddy, I'm gonna hear that. Fuck me. Oh, he's gonna. Oh yeah. Oh, I know one of his mods. I'm the one who knocks. Oi, bruv. Oh, fuck me. You know, like the thing I want to cover, by the way, is like 4 hours long, apparently, but I'm stuck on this. Yes, Leia, I know. The fellow Ginger is bald. Bro, this is, I'm gonna, yes, Leia, I know, buddy, I know. Oh, wait, he kinda oh no. Oh no. Oh, Haas, buddy. Oh, Haas, oh no, buddy. I think, oh no, Haas. I think we found a new meme template. I think we found a new template. Oh no. Oh no.
I don't even like today's topic. This is peak.
Oh, fuck me, man. Oh, wait. He looks like, okay, what's the fucking pronoun guy? Can we make Beckett also the pronoun guy? Can we just be like fucking pronouns? But it has to be okay. Here's what it's got to be. I'll tell you what it's got to be.
The Gaming Truge tipped $1. Beckett aka Magic Head from Psych. I will help with the Google Doc on Falgi and we can show the world that Falgi is the worst Digimon tamer. JK.
Thank you. I am because I haven't played the game. If the game is on sale because of the Game Awards, I fucking even. Oh, I already sent that to him. Yeah. Heel versus Babyface. You have okay. I have an idea. Follow me, chat. Follow me on this one. So if you go to Cope and Seethe, right? This is fucking amazing. One of Beckett's older videos, because I remember this. Oh, where is it? It's one of his older videos, right? Where the fuck is it? No, it's not this one. Not this one. Not this one. Is it that one? Hold up. No, there's like one where he's facing the camera. Where is it? No, is this
about
one
the current drama?
Shut up, Beckett. I need to know if you're facing the camera. There's one where he's wearing a vest. Where's the one where he's wearing a vest, Haas? Haas, what's the video where he's wearing the vest? Is it this one, technically? Is it this? Oh, wait. Can we do it in this one? The apology parody? Is it the James Somerton one? Where he's making fun of James Somerton? Yeah, can we do the fucking pronouns but this? Can we do this? Because he's facing the camera directly. This is the only video I know where he's like facing the camera directly. So I think that this would be hilarious to do that one. Because I thought it was this one. I thought he wore the vest in this one. Because like there's no live streams, right? There's no, I don't even know his oldest live streams. Is he ever like facing any, like he's never, oh my God, I've never seen old. Oh wait, there is a little bit of older Beckett.
Girl, even if it's like,
look, oh my God, look at his hair. Look at his fucking hair. Look at this fucking, oh my God, the smoke, the hair, it's so fucking, it's so cooked. It's so fucking cooked, man. Oh, I love it. Oh my God. Oh, I never knew he did a Sweet Baby Inc. one. Is this with Jenny? This shows that I can tell you, oh my God, when did I first learn of Beckett? I could probably tell you, here's a Lio Convoy actual war about Lio. This is when he was doing his Lio content. What is the first stream I ever watched on Beckett? Okay, so I was streaming and I didn't watch Beckett. This is the Tyler stream. I know about this one. I definitely didn't watch this one. What was the first stream I ever watched of Beckett's? I didn't watch any of these. Oh, I know what the first one I watched. So it does say this one, right? Like it's the Scarlet Reaper streams, right? I know exactly it's this one because I didn't know who Taiga was. And I don't know why it doesn't show it. Oh yeah, because I watched Nani Gate too. So I didn't know who Taiga was. So I actually watched this fucking stream. I remember watching that one. Yeah, and then I watched this one because I didn't know who Kuma was at the time. And that's pretty much it. From there, we've all been friends ever since. And I've fallen asleep or watched some of his streams. Wow. How special. All right, chat. I think it's time. I think it's time to finally do the thing. Wait, what's wrong with Platinum? What happened to Platinum? I have looked for the McRib for weeks now. Let me go to my fucking DoorDash. I've looked for the McRib. Every McDonald's by me skipped the McRib and went to the fucking Grinch meal, motherfuckers. I have looked. What's the limited time order? The Grinch meal. It's the Grinch meal. I can't fucking control it. Do you know how fucking annoying it is?
Adolf Slugler tipped $1. Falgathan, I have drawn you as a hippo.
Thank you. I have looked for the McRib for so long, guys. What is this? Embry, what is this? It's been over a year. I know, and it didn't fucking come to my town. Who did that? This is Embry. Baby Becca is kind of insane. Chat, let's talk about the Danish deception. Now, I don't know if anyone's been following, like, if anyone follows, like, any of, like, TikToks and things like that. But if anyone can remember a time, where, I don't know who thank you, Truge, for the $1.
The Gaming Truge tipped $1. Beckett be like, you want to get into the world of bronies, pronouns, frickin' pronouns, and gender ambiguity. We can't have nothing in this world without reminding me of real life. Rages out to 1v1 bonk.
That's true. Crow, I will most likely just make my own. I'm most likely gonna just make my own McRib and eat it on stream. I'm kind of upset that it didn't come to my town because the Grinch meal came. I was really upset. I went to 4 different McDonald's and all of them didn't have it, and they all switched to this fucking Grinch meal. That's how actually I'm annoyed with. So I don't know if anyone is aware, but there was a new TikTok dating drama about 3 weeks ago, and it's been on my docket to cover. If you've ever seen the TikTok drama, Who the Fuck Did I Marry? This is very similar to that, where, for those who don't, I am not showing that. Haas, I am not showing that. I am not showing that. I know you did. I know you did, Platinum. I know. I'm going to fucking make it myself at this point. But yes, the Who the Fuck Did I Marry story was something that was really, really big. And for those who didn't see it, it was a TikTok story of this woman recounting the time that she married someone, and the twists and turns in that story, the amount of deception, lies, and obviously just a lot of bullshit. You know, this was a guy that was not only leading a double life, but was taking money from her partner, and she was losing money to the partner, right? They even got to the point where they're like trying to buy a house together, and she's like fucking like putting her credit on the line, and he's like, oh babe, don't worry, I can pay in cash, and yada 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 yada. So apparently about 3 weeks ago, there's a very similar-ish story called The Danish Deception. Now this is a 24-part saga. Videos I've found on this saga are about 4 hours long. We are not going to watch all 4 hours. We're going to try to get through at least most of it and see if there's anything there. Yes, and there was also the cake lady that we also covered on this stream. We covered the cake lady on this stream. There's a video on it. I really recommend if you like these TikTok dramas and the way they're kind of drip fed, the cake lady one was probably my favorite. I really like the cake lady one because you really root for her by the end of it, and you really root for the way that she treated everything with grace and class. And that was the same thing with the Who the Fuck Did I Marry story too, where like both of these women, like even in like these low moments are like, listen, I'm not going to do this to the other partner. Regardless of how I feel about this man at the center of all of this, I'm not going to do this to this woman and to like these families that like they are ruining themselves, that it's completely on them and it's fucked up. And that's something I always really appreciated. Was like that was like their moment for them. But I'm actually incredibly curious about what the Danish Deception is. So without further ado, let's go into the introductions and disclaimers, and I guess some trigger warnings. I don't fucking know. And we're going to speed this up because I have ADHD. These are all in okay, there we go. Let's go into it.
Hello and welcome to a new series that I will be calling The Danish Deception. And throughout the series, I'm going to be going through the details and events that happened throughout my 3-year relationship with a man from Denmark who I truly believed was going to be the love of my life and the father of my children. And I now believe him to be the most despicable, two-faced, narcissistic, evil person I have ever encountered in my entire life. And I know a lot of you are probably thinking that's a very heavy statement to make. Believe me, I mean every single word. I know a lot of you are probably wondering, why are you sharing your life's most intimate and traumatic experience with a sea of strangers? Well, there's a multitude of reasons, but there's 3 big ones. And I'm going to share with you the first 2 reasons. And the third one, I'm going to wait and share with you at the end of the series because I don't want to give anything away. But the first reason is that this is my way of telling the world that love is a powerful, powerful drug. And if you're someone that's knowingly or unknowingly in an unhealthy or toxic
Okay. Okay. I mean, I don't really care about the altruistic reasons. Just say you want to post it. Say you want to blast them. I'd rather you be like, I fucking hate this man and I want to ruin his life. I don't want to, I never care. Yeah, like, I don't care why you're sharing the story, sweetie. Just share the story.
relationship. I want you to know that love is a powerful drug and it clouds our judgment and it makes us think in ways we wouldn't think otherwise. And if you're someone that's also trusted the wrong person, you're not alone and you need to give yourself grace and compassion because it happens every day. The second reason is that this is my way of protecting others, and whether it be someone that might encounter my ex, or let's be real, there's some horrible people in this world. I want to protect other people from going through what I went through. And if there's one person that can watch these videos and see some signs in their relationship that they didn't see before and they can remove themselves before too much damage is caused, then it's 100% worth it for me to do what I'm doing. What you guys are about to hear is going to be one of the most beautiful love stories you've ever heard in your entire life. And
I hate this man. I hate this man. I'm going to tell you the time my beautiful love story. God. Okay. Okay, maybe I shouldn't be too mean. I probably should not be too mean, but I think all the fucking preamble is so... I don't know. Please, 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 just, she's protecting that one girlfriend who always goes for her exes. That's insane. That is an insane statement, Pimenta.
for that reason, I need to make sure you guys all prepare yourselves because it's going to take a very drastic turn. And this is going to be one of the most insane roller coaster of emotions that you guys have been on. And if you were a fan of the Who the Fuck Did I Marry series, unfortunately, the story you're about to hear is significantly worse. And it pains me to say that.
Okay, that's interesting to say that. I mean, okay, so I would, okay, so I'm gonna be honest. The only ways, how do I say this? Okay. The only way it can be worse than Who the Fuck Did I Marry is if you're gonna start talking about domestic violence. I'm actually gonna be like 100% on that one. Because Who the Fuck Did I Marry is a lot of emotional manipulation and like abuse. Maybe not like physical abuse, but psychological abuse. And so if you're going to make such a lofty claim, like, hey, my story is so much worse than this story, which I want to highlight, that's like, for someone who's like, guys, I want to do this, like, so you understand the signs. I hate that preamble. It sounds like you are trying to market this story because there have been reports that apparently the Who the Fuck Did I Marry story may or may not have been picked up as a book or as a TV movie. Yeah, and I don't mean to like power scale abuse, but like there's something like really insidious about that story specifically. So to compare it and say, hey, my story is worse, instead of just being like, hey, if you're a fan of this, like, unfortunately, like what I went through is very similar and I want to do it. Yeah, comparing bad relationship power levels is actually insane. Yeah, that's such a fucking weird way of starting it.
This next part, I'm actually going to channel my inner Risa Tisa because I loved the way she did her introduction and disclaimer video. Everything you're about to hear is the truth and can be verified by multiple people in my life. And I actually have a folder in my phone that's labeled evidence, and it can support probably 80% of the things I'm going to say throughout this series. So if my ex or anyone else wants to come forward and say I'm fabricating any of this, I will be more than happy to release the receipts to the world. I'm going to tell the truth, even if it makes me look bad. And there's gonna be times that you guys are gonna be looking at me crazy. And refer to reason number 1, love is a powerful drug. I'm gonna be using a mixture of aliases and real names because I don't have everyone's permission to use their names, and my priority is remaining respectful to everyone that was involved. Everyone
Okay.
except for my ex. And in case you guys are wondering, I'm going to be referring to him as my ex throughout this series, mainly because I feel like if I say his name every day this frequently, it's gonna cause me to become physically ill, and I do not want that. I don't know how many parts this is gonna be, but I know it's not gonna be 52 because I don't have the patience for that, but I will try to get these out as quickly as I can. I'm a real estate agent, so my careers can be very demanding unexpectedly at times, but I will try to get these parts out as quickly as I possibly can.
Okay. Interesting. Okay.
I come from a beautiful, strong Nigerian family that was built on deep respect and unbreakable support, and we have never experienced trauma at this magnitude. So this situation completely rocked us to our core, but I
Don't laugh, Fauci, don't laugh. Oh, don't laugh. Oh my God, don't laugh. Please don't laugh. Oh God. Just invoke the ancestors. Oh no. Oh, fuck me. I think Chud covered this. DeSally. I don't know if Dickers covered this. I know Chud covered this. Oh my gosh, she fucking did that. Oh fuck me, man. Can you replay it? I missed it. Sure.
quickly as I possibly can. I come from a beautiful, strong Nigerian family that was built on deep respect and unbreakable support, and we have never experienced trauma at this magnitude. So this situation completely rocked us to our core, but I truly believe that we will come out of this stronger than ever.
Leave it to the white man to oppress a black family. Listen, the Danish colonized, fucking insane.
And I just wanted to take a moment to just thank my friends and family for giving me the courage and the strength to be able to come forward and share my story, because I feel so much love from the people around me, and I wouldn't be able to do this without them. And I really just wanted to end this video with a message directly to my ex. And frankly, I don't think he's gonna be watching this because he's a coward. But in the event that he is, this message is for you.
Okay. He may or may not be watching this with his lawyer. Again, I don't think this lady would be sued. Like, that'd be fucking insane. But sure. Okay, we're in it to win it, chat. We are in it to win it. Let's go.
You have lived a life where you've hurt so many people and you've created damage in the lives of many, and no one has ever truly held you accountable for your actions. I was silent for a very long time, and that silence only benefited you, and it never benefited me. And I'm sharing my story for my healing, for my strength, and for my growth. And you might not believe this, but this is not about revenge.
In our whole family history, this man is the worst thing, apparently. Void, you cannot say that. Void! That is the most insane thing.
This is about protecting others and reclaiming my power, because I survived a story that I never asked to be a part of, and I'm gonna tell it with honesty, intention, and power, because my voice will no longer.
Oh my God, I get it. Power. Voice. God, the therapizing of language literally makes me want to fucking strangle myself live. Guys, I get it. Therapy language. I don't think we need to constantly say it over and over, but okay.
Be minimized. So you guys, welcome to the Danish Deception, and it's time to get this thing started. So let's head on over to part 1.
Okay.
The Danish Deception, part 1. Okay, so it all started in June of 2022. I was in a place in my life where I was working 2 jobs. I was working like a dog, and I knew
I'm gonna speed her up because even I think she's too slow as it is. And there's like so many things.
I needed a break. So I reached out to my friend Sarah, who was living in Germany at the time with her husband, and I said, let's take a trip. Let's go somewhere in Europe. And she was so down, and we were trying to decide where we wanted to go. We decided to go to Hvar, Croatia, because we wanted somewhere that was like a cute local town that was by the water, but it wouldn't be as crazy busy as other places in Europe. And so we decided to go to Hobart. We flew to Split first, met there, took the ferry over. And at first I was just so amazed at how beautiful this place was. And so the first night, I was a little bit jet lagged, so we kept it very chill, grabbed dinner, then went back to our Airbnb. And the next morning when we woke up, we had literally 2 things on our agenda, and that was to eat and drink and be by the water.
You're not telling me she met this man on a fucking vacation. You're not telling me she did the... Oh, no! You did not do the fucking bad rule of vacation. Oh, no. Fellas, ladies, and bees, do not meet people on a vacation. It is the dumbest thing. Listen, you can sleep with somebody on vacation. I'm sure that's perfectly fine. I've done it. You can do it. I've met people once and... Oh, God. Talking about my sex life part 2, I guess. Like, it's happened, but don't like be like, oh, I found the love of my life on a vacation. You mean the thing you're doing to get away from your normal life because it's incredibly stressful? Fuck me. Sure. I know Pimenta loves when I talk about my sex life.
And like I said, 3 things, but yeah, eat, drink, and be by water. So we went to Hula Hula, which if you've been to Hobart, you've been to Hula Hula. It's this beach club that's very well known there, and it's right on the water. And we're laying in day beds, kind of off to the side, minding our own business, sipping mojitos. And I look up and I see this very attractive man. And the first thing that came to my mind was, this.
What the fuck is happening? What is happening, chat? What is happening? Fauci bingo mark off 1. Next will be previous partnership. Oh, fuck off. You guys always fucking do this.
It looks like he is walking straight out of a Calvin Klein ad. And I'm telling you guys, 6'3", blonde hair, blue eyes, chiseled skin, so tan, muscles everywhere. I was definitely taken aback, and I feel like it takes a lot for me to really double take a man just based on his looks like that. And 100%, I was a little bit just in awe. I didn't even realize that he was like with a friend at first. And so I'm still minding my own business, keeping it chill. And he looks over at me and he says, "How are the drinks?" And I said, "The drinks are wonderful. We're just sipping mojitos." He said, "Should I get us all around?" And I said, "Absolutely. Number 1, he's cute. Number 2, who wouldn't want a free mojito?" So I said yes. We got a round of drinks, and we're sipping our drinks, and we just start small talking. And I asked them where they're from, and they say that they're both from Denmark. My ex was living in Copenhagen, and then his friend was living in a smaller town called Aalborg, which is north of Copenhagen, and I was actually...
He's white girl, do better. Okay. Time out. What did us white people do? Like, what did the white... I didn't do anything. Why are you swinging? Mahi, why the fuck you swinging so hard? That's fucked up. It's fucked up. Just want to highlight that. What didn't we do? It's fucked up. It's fucked up.
My ex's hometown, that his friend was still living there. And so we were just small talking the whole time. We didn't really talk about a whole lot of things. It was just like, where are you from? And just basic things. But they were asking us, what's your plan for the rest of the trip? And we told them, we're doing a full day boat excursion tomorrow. And then we're going to dinner tonight at this place called Dalmatino. And he said, oh, how's the dinner spot? And I was like, I don't know, but I got recommended by a friend to go there. And he was like, okay, well, maybe we'll meet up with you guys again later. And I said, sure. So we're getting a little bit tired. So we decided that it's time for us to leave. And so as we're leaving, I decided to make a bold move and just ask him for his Instagram. And
okay.
Obviously, I'm trying to be a little sly, so I asked him and his friend for their Instagrams, and we exchanged Instagrams. We get into our taxi to go back to our Airbnb, and we're literally en route to our Airbnb, and I get a DM from him, and he basically said, "It was so nice meeting you. Have fun at Dalmatino. Maybe we'll see you guys later." Didn't read anything into it. I just was like, it was fun to just have a conversation with a cute guy. And so we go back to our Airbnb, we get dressed, we get ready for dinner, and we're like on our way to dinner, and he is like messaging me about the restaurant and asking us details about it. I didn't like think anything of it, but we sit down. We're having...
Wait. Speaking of which, did Pi try to make Fauci do land acknowledgement? What? Majuka said in stream chat, crazy lady's whole Nigerian family traumatized over vacation booty calls. Absolutely insane, Majunga.
Dinner. We have a spectacular dinner, and we're finishing off the evening with our desserts, aka espresso martinis. And I'm sipping my drink, and I look up and I see him and his friend at the restaurant. And they walk up over to us, and I'm like, oh, hey. He's like, yeah, like they're a little booked up, but they said they can like see us in like 20 minutes. I was like, oh, cool. Well, we're about to be done, but we'll go grab a drink. Maybe we can like meet up later. And he said, okay, sounds good. So it's kind of awkward timing because we were finishing up dinner while they like hadn't even been sat yet. And so we went to a bar across the street and we were grabbing drinks, and I hit a wall, and I was like, okay, now I need to go to sleep. And I was super jet lagged. And so I sent him a DM just basically saying, hey, we are so tired. We have a full boat excursion tomorrow. I don't think we're going to stay out much later. And he was like, that's totally fine. And so the next day we wake up, we get on the boat, and I start obviously posting like all my cute photos. Like, remember I took a photo driving the boat, and like we were just, having fun. And I was like looking at my Instagram story, and I see he's like hearting every single story, and like he's responding.
I'm so confused. What is happening? This seems normal. Where's the juicy bit?
I did a couple of them. I am not the type of person that reads very much into activity on social media like that, but it was something that I noticed. And so,
no, you do, honey. Honey, you asked for his Instagram. Honey.
You know, we continued on with that for like a day and a half. And then he reaches out to me and he says, hey, like, what are you guys doing? And at this time, it is our last night in Havar. And he said, what are you guys doing tonight? And I said, we don't really have plans because we didn't. And he said, well, do you guys want to come to dinner with us? And me and my friend were like, absolutely, sure.
Is this the love bombing? Falgi needs help. Summon Greg and Cloudy. Greg is currently busy and I believe Cloudy is resting. So if they want to come in, they can definitely come in.
And she wasn't really
I do obviously miss them all the time. I do. They're my bestest of friends.
to go. I kind of forced her because I was like, this guy's hot and it's a free dinner. Like, let's just go. It'll be fun. And so she's a good friend. So she came with me and we get to the restaurant and him and his friend are sitting across from each other. So obviously I took the seat next to him. I was sitting across from my friend and we're sitting there, we're having a wonderful dinner and drinking tons of wine. And I come up with this idea to play this game where I'm asking his best friend to describe what my ex's type was. And because we were obviously like vibing with each other and I was just curious. And so his best friend starts listing off everything, like good morals, hard worker, all these things. And like, I felt like he was describing me. And after his friend was done talking, my best friend basically said, you know, aside from being a good cook, she checks off every single box. And I remember I looked at him, my ex, and I said, but
I don't, okay. So far, we're on the date. The date is happening. Okay.
I will become a great cook for a good man. And he starts laughing. I remember I put my hand on his leg and that was
Okay. You put his hand on his leg. Okay. What if... Okay. We're going to get to the part that matters, right? We're going to get to the part that matters.
the first time in my life that I felt that instant electricity from someone's touch. Like it literally felt like I was getting shocked. And we instantly like had this physical attraction towards each other. And we started talking about what we did for work. And I told him that I was working as a real estate agent and in tech. And then he told me, I'm actually chief commercial officer for an ad tech company that does marketing for real estate companies. So I was working in real estate and tech and he was working in real estate and tech and everything just like felt like it was aligning. But again, I'm like, this guy lives in Copenhagen. There's nothing that's gonna come from this. So after dinner, we go and grab some drinks at a bar nearby and we grabbed one drink and they're definitely gearing up to go back out. And it was our last night and my friend really did not want to go out. And I am not the type of girl to ever leave my friend for a man, never.
Okay.
A million years. So I ended up just saying, hey, I think we're gonna call it a night and we're gonna head out. And he was respectful of that 100%. And I remember we just hugged goodbye and we left and that was it. And so we're going back to our Airbnb, we're walking home and I get a DM from him and he said, it was so nice meeting you. I hope it's not the last time. Also, South Africa's happening. I can see it. And the reason why he said that was because I was telling him that I had wanted to go to South Africa for that following Christmas and because my family was gonna be traveling. And he said, I've always dreamt of going to South Africa. And I jokingly was like, well, you're invited if you wanna come.
What? That's insane. Okay, red flag number one. If you find some fucking like vacation like honey, right? Like you be like you two haven't even banged yet, right? Listen, I get it. Maybe if you fucking bumped uglies, whatever, yada yada. But if you two are just talking and he goes over the course of like 2 to 3 days, I'd love to join your family's vacation to South Africa. I think you should run. It's insane. Oh, girl.
And so whenever he made that comment to me in the DM, I was like, okay, sure. I'm not thinking anything of it, right? At this point, whatever. Like this guy lives 5,000 miles away from me. I'm not thinking anything of it. So the next day, my friend goes back to Germany.
So why? But that's not even a fucking nicety. Like where? Like you know what I mean? Like unironically for a second, right? Where is the nicety in that, right? Also, you're a woman. What are you doing? You need to be safer. God, is this misogynistic that I should say that she should have had higher standards and she should be safer as a woman in a foreign country? Like, am I like already like, am I misogynistic for saying that she needs higher standards? I don't know, chat. Like and subscribe.
And I go to Barcelona to meet up with some friends. And again, I'm like posting throughout my trip. And every time I look at my phone.
Also, you're a woman. Wow, buddy. No, I'm just saying like my whole thing is like, shouldn't like, right? Like I have female friends. Like I have female friends and I'm not a woman. I've never experienced what it's like to be a fucking woman, I guess. But like, I know from them being like, hey, is a guy laying on thick after like 3 days of knowing somebody? Maybe, just maybe, he's crazy. And maybe you have your own fucking blinders on.
Like, he's DMing me, messaging me, and he's continuing all of this. And I'm just a little bit shocked, but also like very interested still at the same time. And he was remembering things that I told him at dinner. Like, I had told him that I was going to buy a Chanel bag because I wanted to reward myself for working hard. And he had messaged me and been like, hey, did you get your Chanel bag? And I was literally like drunk off sangrias in my bikini and cover up in the Chanel store when I got that DM. And I sent him a selfie and he said, this is the best photo I've ever seen. And I just like felt like I could just be myself with him already. And, you know, we were just
Okay, I'm just gonna let it go.
getting along and having good conversation. So again, he doesn't even have my phone number at this point. We were literally just flirting through DMs. So I end up leaving Barcelona the next day and I land and he sends me a message and he said, what are you doing this weekend? Do you want to go to Ibiza? And I saw the message and I was like, what?
They went to Ibiza. They went to Ibiza, Leia. They went to Ibiza. Oh my God. Actually died. Unpause! Why am I unpausing? They went to Ibiza! Oh my God! Leia, they went to Ibiza! Oh God, this chick is loaded and it's annoying. I mean, yeah. Yeah, she's a real estate agent. She works at a tech startup. She definitely got the money. I don't personally give a fuck that she has the money. What I care about is like the very clear, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Fuck, what's the word I'm looking for? Oh, the very clear like fetishization of like this like tall, chiseled white Danish man. Like she was so like, it's like she was so honed in on the type she wanted that she didn't see the signs. And like, that's what's crazy, right? Again, doesn't excuse if he was a shitty person by any means, but like immediately, like this is so dumb and immature. And it's so fucking weird.
What? And we will continue in part 2. The Danish Deception, part 2. Okay.
Oh God.
So he sent me this message saying, you should come to Ibiza this weekend. I'm going with a bunch of friends. And he's like, I'll send you the flight. Everything will be paid for. And I thought about it for a second because come on, who wouldn't want to go to Ibiza? And then I thought a couple of reasons why I didn't want to go was mainly because I just bought a Chanel bag. So I was like, I want to work and make more money. And also I felt like this is the type of guy that things come easy for him. And this is not something that's gonna be easy for you to obtain. And I didn't want our first weekend to be like just partying together with all of his friends. Like that's not what I wanted. So I ended up telling him no, but I just ended up saying that I needed to work. And I thought he was never gonna talk to me again. But somehow this like lit a fire under him and he became even more persistent and he started pursuing me even more. And he was sending me messages like, when are you gonna come visit me in Copenhagen? Or I would love to come to Dallas to come see you. And I was just like, who is this man and what's happening? Still not really taking him serious. And then,
ma'am, why didn't you block him then? You wanted him to chase you. Like you're like, oh, I don't know. My honey bunches of oats. You wanted him to chase you. You wanted to be a prize, which there's nothing wrong with that. I want to make it very clear that there's nothing wrong with wanting to be a prize, but you sound incredibly into the chase. I hate when a gorgeous woman is dumb about shitty men and doesn't have self-confidence to realize it. Yeah, I think that's part of it. I think like there's also that like clear like she wanted the chase to happen, which I feel very conflicted about. I know. Maybe I shouldn't. But it's like, there is like, in these kinds of stories, I do think that there should be always a level of self-ownership. And that's like what it is. Yeah, she's just not being safe. Yes. And she is acting like it's a romance novel. You're absolutely correct. That's what's weird. She's describing it as it's a romance novel, not as if it was like, hey, listen, I was young and like I was dumb and I didn't see the signs. And that was like a big problem for me. It's like I didn't see the signs of how bad it got. That is like, it's like, yeah, it's like privilege to almost the point of stupidity, as Majunga says. It's really weird.
maybe like a couple weeks later, he sends me another message. And at this point, we're still talking pretty consistently on Instagram. We still do not have each other's numbers. And he sends me a message. He says, hey, I have a work conference coming up in Monaco, and I would love for you to come. And I read that message, and I was like near the south of France, like that Monaco? And he was like, yeah, like I can get you your flight, and everything will be taken care of. And I was like, okay, well, give me some time to think about it, because I didn't want to say yes on the spot, but I was like, okay, this is something I definitely want to consider. So I thought about it for a while. I talked to my friends about it. I talked to my sisters about it. At first I was like, I don't think I'm gonna do it. Like, this is crazy. And then over time.
Okay. What changed your mind? Girl, what changed your mind?
I started like talking myself into it. And then one morning I woke up and I was like, you know what? Screw it. I'm gonna go to Monaco. So I sent him a message and I said, hey, I decided.
Oh yeah. By the way, apropos of nothing, I'm gonna see this guy in Monaco and we're gonna fuck.
I'm gonna come to Monaco. And he sends me a message. He said, this is the best day ever. I'm so happy. Send me your passport and everything.
This is love. Okay. This is love bombing. Listen, okay. Fuck me. I'm gonna, Pimenta's gonna be mad at me. So yes, chat. I've had people visit. I've had partners visit. I've had one night stands visit. Well, not like one weekend stands, we'll call visit. I don't think I've ever been like, send me your passport, we'll work this out. So like, this is for me, because someone that dates and people have flown to me, yada, 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 right? Like, it's always like one of those things where like, it's like, you need to have a dialogue about it. You need to have like a literal dialogue about if someone is like, if you like somebody and they're actually traveling, you have to have a dialogue about it. You need to really make sure that it's okay, that this is a thing, because for a lot of people, this could be very dangerous, right? So like with me, like if ever I have somebody come over, especially if they're from out of town or out of state, I always want to make sure that they feel incredibly comfortable and they have the option, they always have the option to leave, because that to me is incredibly important. IA, Parlo, take notes, by the way. But no, like, it's one of those things where, like, it's incredibly important. So, her, like, spur of the moment, I'll just see this guy in fucking Monaco. Like, this is so weird. Like, he is laying it on so fucking thick. And she's like, back and forth. Should I do it? Should I not do it? But I love the attention he's giving me, but maybe it's too much. Like, it's so...
I'll book the flight. So I sent him a picture of my passport and
don't let oh my god. Okay. Hot take. Don't let the other person book the flight unless you've already been there before.
Apparently common sense is not that common. I see face with monocle emoji.
No. Like fuck. Like for instance, right? I don't mind saying that, you know, yeah, whatever. Like so like when Cloudy visits, right? This is like a big thing, right? We always go, or I go there, because it's harder for me to go there. It's easier for her to come here, kind of. We always go half, because it's a gift. Like visiting each other is a gift to the both of us. And so like, but we've been dating for years now. I've been dating Cloudy for years. So that's so much more different. And we have a system for this. Bitch, he's just a booty call that you met for 3 days. Okay.
I also was like, oh, and by the way, here's my phone number. He was like, I've been waiting for you to give this to me for now like weeks. And I said, okay, here you go. Thank you for like inviting me on this trip. So I give him my phone number and he sends me a message and he said, it took you long enough. And I said, oh yeah, well, sorry. I'm just a little bit more reserved when it comes to like dating and men. Like, I just like to make sure like I'm a very intentional person. And he was just so respectful to me. I remember when he was booking the flights and everything, he was like, don't worry, like I'll get you your own hotel room. Like he was just being so respectful. And so I remember our very first phone call so perfectly.
I'm gonna be honest, I thought the Falgi and Cloudy bit was new. Was a bit I'm new. Oh no, we've been dating for years. No, it's not a bit. Like, Cloudy is like my long-term partner. Wait, what the fuck did you say? Oh, you should be glad you weren't trafficked, girl. Are you insane? Paminta? Oh, fuck me. This is such a fucking insane thing.
Because it came completely out of the blue. It was like on like a Tuesday and I'm sitting at my work desk and he sends me a message. He's like, can I call you? And I was like, oh, he wants to call me. And I'm like, I'm literally discombobulated, freaking out. Like, what am I gonna do when this man actually calls me? But I was like, you need to get together. So he calls me answered the phone, and he's actually in a cab to the airport. He's about to go on a work trip, and we were just small talking about our day, and I felt like those like butterflies that I felt whenever we had been together at dinner in Croatia. And I remember getting off the phone with him, and I was just sitting there like cheesing, like, which I don't ever do. And I was just, this guy is special. And he sent me a message, and he was like, "You are so cute. Like, I love talking to you." And I said, "I love talking."
Oh my god. Like, okay, sure, this is puppy love, but like, you guys didn't even. Okay, whatever. We'll continue.
You too. And so basically from that moment on, we just started talking on the
Yeah, how long have they been talking together? I guess like for like a month or so. She doesn't really give like an identifying date between when she leaves Germany to when she's like preparing to go to Monaco. So I guess let's like say like a month or so.
phone all the time. Like,
It took me a while to realize you two were dating. How? Chat, I tell Claudia I love her so many times. She yells at me. Like, it's not a bit. This woman yells at me. She's not always on. This is true. No. You're fine. You also do that to Greg, though. True. Yes, Falgi is too gay to have a girlfriend. Tyler, Westside Tyler. Yeah, that. God, do you guys know that that's almost like going to be coming next month? It'll be like about a year since that whole kerfuffle happened. Holy shit, that's wild. Fuck me. Okay, Falgi, to be fair, a ton of streamers do performative. Yeah, my name is not NMP. LOL.
for 1 hour, 2 hours a day. We started talking about a lot of things, about a lot of different aspects of our lives. He was telling me that, he was living in Copenhagen, he was living in this condo. Obviously, he knew about, I lived in Dallas. And then we started talking about past relationships. And I told him, I was very honest, I said, I actually haven't had like a truly serious relationship before. I have always been a very independent person, but I do want to meet someone. I do want to like, get married and have.
Slug tipped $1. Falgathan, when are we getting the cooking stream? And why do you hate me so much? Is it because I am not white? Is it because I am a black man? Also, we must throw Angie into a rhino.
I don't hate you. Cooking stream soon. But that's it. Tyler tried to infiltrate the anti-Ethan sphere till he got exposed for being a clout. Yeah, well, that's very obvious. Even I knew that. Yeah, I know what Tyler tried to do. It kind of blew up in his face. Not the point, though. Listen, I hope he's doing well. Truly speaking, I hold no real ill will. I've only grown so far after he's left. So I only wish him the best of luck. But okay. Never been in a serious relationship. Good to know.
Kids, but I don't feel like that pressure to like force it. Like, I have such a great example with my parents, and I really want to have like an amazing love in this lifetime. And so I'm gonna take my time to find that. And I asked him, like, what's your history with your dating? And he was like, yeah, well, I actually was in a relationship with a girl, and we were together for about 4 years. And I actually broke up with her about 4 months before I met you. And I said, oh my gosh, like, the 4 years is a long time. He said, yeah, like, I needed.
Slug Rhino tipped $1. Rhino.
To happen for a while. And really what happened was that she told him that she was ready to have kids, and he wasn't ready to have kids. And I guess that forced him to realize that she wasn't the one, and they were living together. So it was like a really hard situation to get out of, but he finally was able to do so. And so I was happy to hear that it had been about 4 months since they broke up, because if he had said like they had just broken up, I would have been a little bit more hesitant to pursue things, because I know like you go through a breakup, you need time to heal. But I felt like, okay, 4 months should be enough time. And then
4 months to 4 year ratio with a kid involved? I don't know about that, honey. Okay.
we started talking about like our families a little bit too. I told him I'm super close with my family. He said I'm really close with my mom and my little sister. I do have an older sister that I don't talk to, and basically something happened, and she was like being like physically abusive, verbally physically abusive towards his mom, and he decided to cut her out of his life because she's crazy. And I said, listen, I get that. That makes sense. Like, you should not have her in your life. And I think just like over the course of a month, we're talking on the phone for just hours. And I tell people all the time that it felt like we fell in love over the phone, because from the time that I had decided to go to Monaco to the time that I actually left for Monaco, it was a month. And we had this plan that we
No! Not a fucking month! Not a fucking month. Oh, fuck me. You only talked for a month, and now you're saying you fell in love. Oh, fuck me. Okay. That's 1 month from meeting to Monaco is insane. This was a holy shit. She ignored it. This woman wanted a fairy tale romance, and that is the problem. There is no such thing as a fairy tale romance. I don't like don't do that to yourselves. Fairy tales don't exist. Fuck. Falgi doesn't believe in true love. No, I do. Okay, so it's okay. Cringe gay moment. Cringe and very gay. Oh, I loved Cloudy since the moment I saw her. And I will go on from there.
We weren't going to FaceTime at all because we wanted the next time we saw each other to be in person, which I thought at the time was super romantic. And so, you know, we started talking about like hypotheticals. I remember he told me one day, he said, you know, if we ever end up getting married, you're going to meet the queen. And I remember just like laughing at that comment. And he said, no, I'm being serious. And I said, what do you mean I'll meet the queen? And he said, well, you know, my family has a royal title. And I was like, wait, what? And he sent me this link to this site. It's called the Order of the Elephants. And
my family is royalty. Okay. 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 Did we hit the unironically hit the Nigerian prince, but it's Danish royalty? Axis, no! I don't. Is this the white version of the Nigerian prince? No! Is this why she invoked her ancestors? Is this why she invoked her Nigerian ancestors? Oh no! No! Oh, that's not good, man. Oh, that's not good.
he's like, you can do some research and then we can talk about it. And I said, okay. So I started.
I hear Axis. So for those who don't know, because Axis will do this all the time. Axis is the risk god of the chat. And Axis will call himself the fucking. Axis and Tusky will always do the fucking. They're the black conglomerate of my chat as they joke.
This woman is purely delusional.
Oh fuck
She
me.
is lucky she came out the other side.
Oh yeah, that's true. I'm glad she's safe for what it's worth.
Slug tipped $1. I remember when I saw my ex-wife, my heart sank into my stomach. I forgot how to speak proper English, swapping to Spanish, failing at that. I could barely think, let alone function. Her eyes, her smile, and stop throwing apples at me.
Sure. We make the black jokes for you so nobody can call you racist. Absolutely insane. Axis, die, Axis, die. This is absolutely wild, though.
Going through the.
Yeah, she's lucky this guy wasn't a fucking pimp and like kidnapped her and harvested her organs and fucking kept her on fucking like whatever audio. Yeah, I don't know why the audio is being weird right now, chat. It's a YouTube issue. It's audio's being a little fucky wucky right now. It's a YouTube issue. So bizarre. Yeah, it's a YouTube side issue. Because my bandwidth is completely fine. There's nothing actually screwing with it. Order of the Elephant is real. It used to be a royal family. Just Googled it. Okay.
Page that he sent me, and I see someone that had the same last name as him, like some old guy from like the 1700s. And I remember taking a screenshot and I said, is this your great grandpa? And he goes, now you're getting on track. My next question to you is, how's your etiquette? And I was like, I mean, I think it's okay. And so I'm sitting here like, who is this man? He's attractive. He has a great job. He has a royal title. Like, is there anything wrong with him at this point? And I have always believed in the term, it's too good to be true. But I mean, and I was feeling that 100%. Like I felt like, when's the other shoe gonna drop? But it didn't drop that first month. It was just like, we truly fell in love over the phone.
The first month. It's just the first month, girl.
And so we are getting closer and closer to the trip to Monaco, and I start packing, and I feel like that's like when the nerves start hitting me, was when I'm packing, like, oh my goodness, this is actually happening. And I remember my sister was like, you need to put air tags in like all your bags. And I'm like, I don't need to put air tags in anything. Like, I trust this man. Like, I know, like.
Chat, Chad, I'm not liking this 90 Day Fiance feeling bullshit. By the way, like and subscribe, share the stream around if you're enjoying the stream right now. Very Poggies, very based. Share it in whatever servers you want to share it in. This is a fucking wild ride, and I do think we're gonna have fun.
It's gonna be okay. Like, every part of me felt like so safe with him already, which was crazy because I hadn't really spent much time with him. Maybe this is trauma from being on The Bachelor, I'm not sure. But I felt very safe.
Excuse me. What did you say?
Safe with him already, which was crazy because I hadn't really spent much time with him. Maybe this is trauma from being on The Bachelor, I'm not sure.
She's a fucking Bachelor contestant. I hate you. I hate you so fucking much. So let's talk about The Bachelor for a second. For those who don't know, The Bachelor is a television dating show where they get a really rich contestant to date a bunch of people. And every time I watch this show, because I used to, all right, Mahi, hit the bingo card. One of my exes loved this show, and I would watch this with her every week for all of the So I watched The Bachelor, Bachelor in Paradise, The Bachelorette, Bachelor Winter Games. Like, I watched all. I even got into the fucking. I even got into the fan community of trying to suss out the edits and when like production was being really shitty to these contestants. And so I know a lot about The Bachelor. I know way too fucking much. This just proves to me that this girl was fucked from the start because it is my purest belief that when you go on The Bachelor, you're just looking for a rich bitch to get famous off of. Or you are hoping that you get picked up by one of the ancillary shows. And I never like any of these people. They're all vapid. Sometimes you'll get like a diamond in the rough. But like most times, they're all vapid, very privileged people who can leave their jobs for a day or a week or a month or however long the production is and be able to come back like there's no issue. I hate this. I'm kind of rooting for this man. Is that evil? Is that evil to say I'm kind of rooting for this man now?
But I felt very safe with him. And so the day comes where I'm supposed to go on the trip. And so I order my Uber, get to the airport, and I felt like it was.
Now I ain't saying she a gold digger, but she want a prince with pockets bigger.
Maybe, that's wild. Thank you, Axis, for the fucking $5. Oh shit! It's time. Oh, I actually fucked up my mouse. Hold up. I actually fucked up the speed of my mouse. There we go. It's time to feed that dog. It's time to feed that pupper. It's time to give her treats. It's time to feed that dog. And now on the Uplock stream tonight. Yes, everybody, it's time to feed that dog. Wow, I'm actually running low on treats. Come on, girl. There you go, girl. And if you want to hit that goal, all you gotta do is donate to get another treat. Thank you, everybody. Fauci, you're not winning the gay allegations. I mean, I wasn't out and gay yet, I guess. Or I don't fucking know how to describe that. When I was watching The Bachelor, I did it for love. And I regret it every day.
Kind of like a good sign because I posted that I was at DFW and one of my really good girlfriends texted me that lives in a different state. She was like, hey, I'm actually in DFW too. And I was like, oh my gosh. So she comes, meets me at my terminal. She's like, where are you going? I go, I'm actually going to Monaco to meet this guy that I met in Croatia. And she was like, this is insane. And so I just felt like seeing that friend was like a good sign. I don't know why. And
what? What signs? What signs are you saying? What signs, honey? I saw the signs and I wanted to date this man with big pockets. I saw the signs.
I ended up just boarding the flight. I remember boarding that first flight. I had a layover in Madrid. Boarding that first flight, I was sitting there and I was like, this shit is really happening. And
yeah, she did see those dollar signs.
All the nerves are just taking over, but I'm like, take a chill pill. It's gonna be okay. You're gonna get there. It's gonna be fine. And at that point, I was like, okay, the worst thing that happens is like, he's a crazy person and I have enough money where I can like just book my own hotel and I'll just have a good time by myself. Like, it'll be fine.
Leia, did you hear that? She said the worst thing that can happen is that he's a crazy person. The worst thing that can happen is that he's a crazy person. I don't know. What if he murders you? What if he drugs you? Yeah, that's the I have enough money. Sure.
So I like had that backup plan. But yeah, I had my layover in Madrid, and then my next flight
I'm not lying. I'm rooting for this guy. Yo, I'm sure he's a piece of shit. But right now, low key, I'm giving her more of a side eye than I'm giving it.
was to Nice. And so I board my flight to Nice. It was like a really quick flight. And I get to Nice, I land, I get my bags and baggage claim, I send him a text, I said, I'm here. And
Easiest trafficking of his whole career.
I'm rolling both of my bags, about to walk out, freaking out, and let's continue on in part 3. The Danish Deception, part 3. Okay, so I'm walking out of baggage claim, I have my bags, and at this point, worst case scenarios are playing in my head. I'm like, what if this whole thing is just gonna be so awkward and we're not gonna have that connection like I think we have? But I also told myself, you're gonna have to figure it out, and let's just do this. So I walk out of baggage claim, and I'm scanning the scene.
This is why you go with friends, honey. Go with friends and family. He dodged the bullet. That's insane. That's insane given whatever like potential abuse this guy did, by the way.
And I see him, and everything in me feels peace and joy. And
I see. This is Harl will know this. This is like one of the this is why sometimes I miss Xylee doing commentary from time to time. I would kill for Xylee to watch this. I fucking would miss Xylee every day. Really happy that she's always there. I have to reach out, see how she's doing. I haven't done that in a while. But this would have been something so like old heads would know Xylee would love something like this.
make a beeline to him. Like, it's one of those, like, I'm walking, but like low-key I'm running, and I finally get to him. He hugs me, but like he picks me off the
Yes, she would be screaming her head off, and it would be fucking hilarious.
ground, and he's hugging me, and I'm hugging him back, and then he puts me down, he looks at me, he goes, hi, Bambi, and that was a nickname he used to call me, and I was like, hi, and we just proceed.
He called you Bambi. Like the deer. He called you Bambi like the deer. Are you absolutely insane? He called you Bambi. That's... Okay, that's funny. That's funny. Thank you, Slug. That's actually funny. That's absolutely funny. I'm keeping her safe from the cow demons. Yeah, no, I know she's good. I watched Lol Cow Reaper. I know. I watched the Reaper.
To make out in the Nice airport for 2 straight minutes, and
Why did you make out in the airport? I waited. Okay, I'm not going to tell the story about when Cloudy and I first met. It feels weird doing it A on stream and B without her here on the stream. But I will tell you this. I can see you sneak in, Fauci. Yeah, I always sneak. Don't. No, I'm not. I'm not, honey. I'm not. But like, I don't. We didn't suck face at the airport. I will say that. Like, that's kind of.
I am not.
Like, I don't mind PDA. Like, it's just like, no, don't leave. I didn't say that. I'm literally highlighting the fact that, like, I don't know. There's so much love bombing going on. She hasn't prepared. Don't leave. Don't leave, please.
The type of person to ever do that, but I just felt so much attraction towards him, and I just did not care. And I remember that we were in the taxi going to the so much attraction airport for 2 straight minutes, and I am not the type of person to ever do that, but I just felt so much attraction towards him, and I just did not care. And I remember that we were in the taxi going to the hotel, and we had to put ourselves at like arm's length because we were just like going at it like.
I had to put myself at arm's length because we couldn't stop fucking and sucking in the taxi. Oh, God.
Slug tipped $1. Falgathan, aka the Falgipo, why were you sniffing Cloudy so much when you first met her?
She smells nice. I like the way Cloudy smells, unironically. She smells like vanilla.
and I was like, this taxi driver is gonna start feeling super uncomfortable. So we're like, we need to stop. And so we get to the hotel, we check in, we get to the hotel room, and let's just say we had a wonderful time multiple times. Mom and Dad, I am so sorry for that part. We ended up going to dinner afterwards.
Remember how this started, that she said like this was worse than the Who the Fuck Did I Marry story? Where, and I think it was Blue Yokai that mentioned it. Like, part of the Who the Fuck Did I Marry story is that that woman has a miscarriage. That woman has a miscarriage regarding the stress of what happened to her. So I don't know, maybe squealing and screeching about this, the relationship that you're calling worse than that, doesn't really give me hope for the rest of this story.
And I just remember sitting here and I was like, I feel like this is my dream come true being here with you. And he said, I feel like this is my dream come true. Like, I'm so grateful to be here. Like, you're like my dream girl, and you were even better than I remembered if that was even possible. And it just felt like everything was aligning perfectly. And so the next day we had a car rental. So we went to Monaco, and that's where his work event was. And I remember he told me, he's like, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to bring you to all of the events. And I told him, you know what, I'm gonna be in Monaco. So if you can't take me to things, that's fine. I'll just go explore the city. And I remember we get there and he had like a kickoff event, like first things first when we arrived. And so I wasn't invited. I also didn't really want to go. So he went to that, and I was just like exploring Monaco.
Slug tipped $4.20. Ladies, ladies, ladies. Falgi is a big sniffer, get that scented bra ready. Or just sweat a lot. Falgi is part hippo 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 hippo
And he sent me a message. He said,
hippo
hey.
hippo 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 hippo.
Slug, I'm gonna okay, I will say this, Slug, you will lose the rights to a lot of words, and I will make them very short. I will make all of those donations very short.
You're gonna be able to come to the event tonight. Do you have something to wear? And I remember being like, I didn't bring anything like for like a professional cocktail party. And he was like, oh, well, we're in Monaco, so you wear whatever. And I said, okay. So I remember I put on this green romper, and we went to this hotel, and I remember being super nervous because I'm used to like networking, but not with like Norwegians and like a bunch of people that aren't like fluent in English, which actually people in Norway, they all are fluent in English. I was very impressed. But I just
Casual racism, what is happening? Saint, Swedes, do the Swedes speak the English? Do the Norwegians speak the English? Bullshit. Well, you gotta think, okay, so if this guy was an actual businessman, I wouldn't be surprised if they all spoke relatively very good English. Because like she's going to a business event. But yeah, for someone who like, for telling a story about like this like relatively like horrible man, she's incredibly giddy.
start talking to different agents, because these were all real estate agents, and I'm a realtor, so I felt like I could connect with them so well. And I remember I was talking to this man, me and my ex were talking to this man, and he was like so interested by me, and he said, are you coming to the boat party tomorrow? And I knew there was a boat party coming up the next day, but I also just like assumed I wouldn't be able to go. And I said, well, I looked at my ex, I go, I don't know, like, am I? And my ex looked at me, he goes, well, you're talking to the CEO, so that's fine. I said, oh. And the CEO was like, yeah, I'd love for you to come. And he was just so nice, and I met so many great people, and also just watching him in his element working, and he's just so charming and charismatic, and everyone, when people talk to him, they're just so fascinated by him, like I was. And so we had a great night, and then the next day was a boat party, and I remember I was just hanging out.
Is this the limerence thing? Like, is this what Kendra talks about? Is this limerence? Like, this is just...
Slug tipped $1. Also, why is this woman looking like a race-swapped badly drawn anime drawing from an anime drawing guidebook from a Scholastic book fair? Also, it's sad you are going to rob me of my hippos and rhinos.
No, thank you.
The boat, again, just watching him go talk to all these big customers, and I didn't understand a word he was saying, but I just felt like he just looked like he was super smart. And later on that night, I remember they had another event, and I wasn't invited to that event, which is fine, but I came and met up with him afterwards, and we got drinks, and the next day we decided to head to Saint-Tropez. And I remember we get to the hotel in Saint-Tropez. This hotel is so nice. I've stayed in 5-star hotels before, but like I've never stayed in like 5-star hotels that are like a full suite with like private pool. And I like looked up the room, and it was like 1,500 to like 2,000 euros a night, and I'm like absolutely not used to this. And I remember telling him that, because I'm not the type of person to like walk into something like this and be like, oh yeah, like I'm used to this stuff. I'm not gonna be fake. So I told him, like, I'm not used to staying in hotels like this, or like, especially specifically suites like this. And he was like, well, you know, while we're together, I want you to know, like, I want to give you the world. And I was like, thank you so much. Like, I feel so grateful. And I remember telling him that in that moment. And later on that night, we go to L'Opera, and we're having a wonderful time, drinking great wine, having good food. And if you've been to L'Opera in Saint-Tropez, it's very much a party restaurant. Like, you have
When do we get to the part where he like did something wrong? Why did you say that to him? Yeah, right. Yeah, yeah. Like, oh, this is so magical. Oh, yeah. Can we go back for a second?
Afterwards, and we got drinks, and the next day we decided to head to Saint Tropez. And I remember we get to the hotel in Saint Tropez. This hotel is so nice. I've stayed in 5-star hotels before, but like I've never stayed in like 5-star hotels that are like a full suite with like private pool. And I like looked up the room and it was like 1,500 to like 2,000 euros a night, and I'm like absolutely not used to this. And I remember telling him that because I'm not the type of person to like walk into something like this and be like, oh yeah, like I'm used to this stuff. I'm not gonna be fake. So I told him like I'm not used to staying in hotels like this, or like especially specifically suites like this. And he was like, well, you know, while we're together, I want you to know like I want to give you the world. And I was like, I like thank you so much. Like I feel so grateful. And I remember telling him that in that moment. And later on that night, we go.
She's grateful. It's not till like part 9, bro. We're on part 3. What the fuck did this man do?
To L'Opera, and we're having a wonderful time, drinking great wine, having good food. And if you've been to L'Opera in Saint Tropez, it's very much a party restaurant. Like you have dancers on the tables. It's like it's a party scene, but like you know that's also like kind of like my vibe. But I'm like, you know, have a couple drinks in me, and we're sitting at dinner, and
I'm not rich, but if she says that this is love bombing, I'm not buying it. This is generally just sounds like a rich man doing rich man things. So like, okay, so like here's the thing, right? It could be considered love bombing, right? If we're talking about it, but typically that's already part of the process within the abuse cycle, from what I remember correctly. I'm not up to date on it, but like it's often used to like obfuscate and make you sometimes feel crazy regarding like potential like red flags, for instance, and to ignore them. But it doesn't seem like she saw any of them to begin with and saw no problem with the way that he was spending money. Because I'm gonna kind of be honest, she went on The fucking Bachelor, and they don't. If you've ever watched The Bachelor, right? Like legitimately, if you've ever watched any of those dating shows where it's a single person with like a harem of people, and it happens with The Bachelor too, none of these people are poor. None of them are poor. They're not all like mega rich, but none of them are poor. They want money to be spent on them. They want to live a lavish lifestyle in some degree. Like, I'm sorry, it does sound like she's looking for a type of person that would spend a dollar amount on her.
he's talking to me about his mom and talking about how.
And there's nothing wrong with that if that's the kind of partner that you're going for. Yes, it's incredibly shallow, but what are you going to do?
He's so protective over her and how much he loves her and how he like would do anything for her. And I remember just like looking at him and just being like, this is like everything I want in a man. If a man is going to treat his family with respect, the chances of him treating your family with respect are so much higher. And I just felt like I saw his heart, and it just.
How fast do things move on The Bachelor? That's the way this makes sense to me. Yeah, you have to like fall in love very fast on stuff like The Bachelor. The Bachelor is a series of weeks. It's not like, it's like a month and a half of filming, if I remember correctly, from what I remember. So like that is in my opinion, it is like where that kind of it's where that to me kind of highlights a little bit. I think that's actually a really good way of putting it. Like how fast did the things move on that kind of show?
Made me just fall for him even.
Yeah, and typically a lot of them break up afterwards. A lot of them do. Holy shit, do they?
More than I had already. And I guess my thoughts had translated to my face because he picked up on some expression and he was like, what is it? I was like, nothing. He said, tell me. I go, nothing. And then he grabs my face and he pulls it close to him. He goes, tell me. And I say, I'm in love with you.
I don't have words for what I just like. Okay. Chat. Here we go. Girl, what are you doing? Red alert! Red fucking alert! What are you doing?
This
my
woman wouldn't
God.
make it a week in Philly.
Thank you, Tech. Thank you so much for the $2. Holy shit. Carl, what are you doing? I'm in love with you. You haven't known this man for a month. No, I get it. Some people move incredibly quickly. But, like, she's also the red flags. This is very bizarre. I will say, like, despite what this man may or may not do, and for those who have seen it, okay, on a scale of 1 to 10, for those who have seen it, how bad is it? Like, 1 is like normal relationship bullshit from time to time, and 10's like fucking kidnap and beating. Like how bad are we talking before I say the words that are coming out of my mouth? Because like this is a lot. Yeah, I've seen that name. Thank you. It's like an 8. Oh, fuck me. Okay. So it's like an 8. So it's really bad. 7 to 8, lots of financial stuff. Oh, is this like the Tinder swindler? Like, is this going to be like a Tinder swindler bullshit where he's not really a CEO and like his whole thing is dating multiple people to move the money around? Oh my God, is this a Tinder swindler bullshit thing? No. Oh my God, come on.
Adolf Slugler tipped $1. I apologize for the unfunniness of my evil twin. Good news, I got faux soup.
Pho was great. I'm not the biggest fan of it because it's clear broth. I don't know, sometimes to me. Oh, come on. Now I'm like both interested and also, what the fuck, girl? Yeah, this is nowhere near the Mary one. Yeah, this is not as bad. Because the Mary, like who the fuck did I marry? There's so much going on. And there's a lot of just like, and that also had financial abuse. And this is fucking weird.
And then I started bawling my eyes out at La Opera in San Tropez. And this was a sweet moment, but it was also very uncomfortable and
Low-level gold digger meets max-level Tinder swindler.
embarrassing because all the
That man tanked her credit score. Yeah. Well, they're not just dating. Yeah, they were like engaged. Yeah. I remind you that the married one had a miscarriage, and that yes, I do want to say that.
workers are all
No, this is a fine spoil in my opinion, because it actually matters and gives a lot of context. Because again, if this is like Tinder swindler like level, I'm sorry, this is a lot on you, dog. I get that sucks, but this is a lot on you, in my opinion.
Sluggerthon tipped $1.
I already did.
Cover the
Already
DoorDash
did.
girl.
Already did.
She is legit getting what she deserved.
Slug, listen, I don't like, maybe legally, it's so weird.
CEO Mahi tipped $2. Why, N? I can't capture why, N's beauty.
Thank you, CEO Mahi.
thinking that I'm getting dumped right now when I'm really just falling in love for the first time and like don't know how to control my emotions. And I remember just like bawling my eyes out, being like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what this feeling is. Like, I don't know what's happening. Like, and he's just sitting there smiling and he's like, this is like one of the best nights of my life. And he looked at me and goes, I want to say it back to you, but I also want to have my own special moments. So I'm not gonna do it right now. And I said, thank you, God, because I would not want you to tell me right now. And honestly, never in a million years did I think that I would say I love you first to him, but he pulled it out of me and I felt it. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna say it. And I did.
And that's the worst thing that's happened to her Nigerian family.
And it felt so good. And I remember we went back to the hotel that night, got some sleep, and the next morning we went to Bagatelle and we had just like a beach day. And I used to tell everyone that this was the best day of my life because we spent the whole day just swimming and laughing and eating and having such a great time. And I just thought to myself, like, I could do this forever. And like, I also thought to myself, like, I don't care if we're on a couch in Dallas, Texas. Like, I just want to be around him all the time. And so that night we go to dinner and I remember just asking him, what are the things that you think are important as we like enter into this relationship? And he told me, if you give me respect and loyalty, I will give you the world. And I told him I can do that. And then I told him, there's a few things you should know. Number one, your money is great, but it's the cherry on top of a great sundae. You could lose it all tomorrow and I would not go anywhere. Like,
I doubt that wholeheartedly, honey. You are a lying sack of shit. I'm sorry. I don't believe that. Like, it's okay to admit that because if that was the case, then don't date rich men. Don't date a rich man. Date a poor man. Why? Like, because remember, the sweeping things off your feet were all products of money.
Evil Slug tipped $1. I only get my dating
She lives
advice
in
from
Dallas.
mentally ill
I think
women.
that's what it was. By the way, Tech, she lives in Dallas. I think that's what she's saying.
The fuck is wrong with Dallas?
If a guy has to directly ask you for loyalty, that's a red flag. Pie, I demand loyalty from you. I demand loyalty from you, Pie. Can we say fuck? Yes, you guys can say fuck in super chats. That's true. But yeah, no, like, the problem I have with that, with her saying, well, you could lose all the money tomorrow. But the money was why you fell for him. So I can't sit here and say otherwise, because you haven't proven that the money wasn't a deciding factor in this relationship.
The money's just like this little added benefit, but I love you for you. I'm here for who you are as a person, not the money. Also, cheating is 100% a deal breaker for me. I just feel like I always need to like put that out there. I don't care if you've been married for 15 years with 4 kids. I will leave. I will not put up with cheating. And also, my family's my world. I'm a warrior for my family and friends. And please don't ever put me in a position where I have to choose, because like I love my family so much, and that would be a situation that would cause me so much pain. And I just would never want to be in that position. He said, I understand completely, and I love that about you. So we set those ground rules, and the next day we go to Cannes. And I remember that first day in Cannes, we're having a great time, went to the beach for a little bit, and then we decided we're gonna go shopping. And he tells me, you can pick out whatever you want. Whatever you want to buy, you can get it. So we're going to like Cartier, we're going to Chanel, we go to Dior. I see this yellow bag.
Slug tipped $1. Be a good boy for me, Falgi. Keep the stream going. There we go. Good boy.
In love with, but I felt so uncomfortable because I don't want this man to think that I'm with him for his money. And I
Okay, sure. You met this man for a month. Okay, sure.
I didn't want him to feel like I was using him. So I remember just being like, oh, it's okay. Like, I love this purse. But I was like, it's just okay. And we end up going to Dolce & Gabbana, and I pick out this nice pair of $200.
Oh, yes. It's not about this man's money. Talks about spending lavish amounts of money. Talks about lavish amounts of money is being spent. Oh, you fucking lying piece of shit. Okay, like, again, what this man does to her, very poor, very bad. But I'm going to be honest, her standards on dating and the way that she set up, like, what she looks for in a relationship, from my opinion, she was falling for this hook, line, and sinker, and that's on her. She was a gullible rube. I'm losing empathy. I'm turning into iDubbbz. I'm iDubbbz pre-Anissa. I'm losing absolute empathy. It's like absolute zero empathy right now.
Sunglasses, and he looks at me, he goes, dang, you're cheap. And I said, I'm a simple girl, even though I wanted the Dior bag. But I want him to know that I was there for the right reasons. Oh my gosh, bachelor trauma is still kicking in. And so later that night, we
oh my god, it's not bachelor trauma, you fucking whore. I can't. Oh my god, fuck it. She's a. Oh my Christ. Oh my Christ. Oh my fucking. I fucking. It's misogyny era Falgi time. It's misogyny era Falgi. Fuck you. You went on the show to be famous. You didn't go on it to fucking love. You went on the show to be famous. You're a fucking attention whore. There, I said it. It's incredibly mean, honey. I'm sorry. I even tagged you in the description, so I'm sure I'm going to get a bunch of hate for this. But no. Like, ironically, what you're saying is insane. It's detrimental to people who experience actual fucking trauma. Like, what are you saying?
Falgi has bachelor trauma.
I do have bachelor trauma. That's probably true. But no, like, you didn't experience trauma, sweetie. No, you did not. I'm sorry. You chose to go on the show and you probably didn't make it very far. Or maybe she did make it very far. Could somebody tell me how far she fucking made it on The Bachelor? Was she like the final contestant and she got fucking like thrown out? Yeah, I don't usually have to convince someone that I'm not with them for their money if I'm not. Oh my god. Jesus Christ.
Slug tipped $1. Her pussy is not poggers enough for this level
That's
of an ego.
insane.
And we're eating dinner, and I go to the bathroom, and I had myself a fall. Going to the bathroom, going up the stairs, and everything went black. And I will continue on the series in part 4.
Okay.
The Danish Deception Part 4. Okay, just to recap, we went to Monaco, then we went to Saint-Tropez, and we ended the trip in Cannes. And the very last night we had together, we were at dinner, and I'm walking to go to the bathroom, and I fall, and everything goes black. And let me tell you, I am a clumsy person. I know I'm a clumsy person. I'm always tripping over myself. And that day specifically, I had been tripping over my dress pretty frequently throughout the day. But I've never had like a serious accident before like this. And it was
Why not pause and eat a pickle before we decide on partner? Yeah, sure.
completely out of the blue. I was walking up the stairs, and I remember walking up the stairs, and the stairs in France are extremely narrow. If you've been, and you definitely probably agree with me. And so I basically
Yes, honey, yes. The stairs in France, narrow. Thank you, sweetie. I'm glad that that's the context.
came to after falling, hitting my head, and I see these 3 men above me, and they're wearing like these bright turquoise polos, and I remember that they were the waiters. That was what they were wearing, and I remember just like coming awake and being like, what the fuck is happening? But no one was speaking any English. They're all like screaming in French, freaking out. And so I pass out again, then I come to again. Finally, I'm able to say, someone go get my boyfriend, and then I pass out again, then I come to again, and then my ex is sitting next to me, and I see him, and I'm like, what is going on? He's like, I don't know what happened. I think you fell. And I'm like, I don't remember anything. I don't know what happened. And he looked at me, he goes, do you have a history with epilepsy? I'm like, epilepsy? No, I don't have any history with that. I was like, why? He said, because you've been having seizures for the past 10 minutes. And I was like, seizures? I have never, ever had a seizure in my life. So this was shocking news, but I also wasn't like all the way there. So I was just so confused at what was happening. And I remember touching my head.
What is happening? What is happening in this fucking... Is the swindler making sure she's alive? Yeah, he stole a lot of money from me, but I was so sweet how he kept me from swallowing my fucking tongue. I think I'm gonna lose it. I think you had a concussion. I think she needs to go to the doctor. She was eliminated the 5th week. Oh no. You're telling me that she was eliminated in the 5th week? Girl, that's not that far. Sweetie, that's not far. That's not that far. No fucking way. She was on season 2. Oh my God, what are you... So she was 24. She was from Texas. She got eliminated in week 5. It was a 3-year relationship. So after her trauma from this, she dates this man apparently because she said it was a 3-year relationship. She was 25 when she met him. I hate her. I hate her so much. How many weeks are in the show or in the season? So week 9, these are week 9, week 10, week 8, week 7. Look how many people you have to scroll before you get to her. I want to see something. She was in the bottom. Right, okay. Call out order, maybe. So she was the 15th to be eliminated out of 30. Literally the middle of the road. I don't know what these call outs are, to be fair. Was she called out once, maybe? Or is this like when she's in the bottom 3 for the most part? Wow, that's special. She made it to week 5. I'm so glad for her. Wow, she quit in week 9 and came... Wow, I'm glad the winner quit and came back. I wonder if they stayed together. Probably not. She was removed with another girl. Yeah, that's dangerously mid. That's like a mega mid for that show. He probably went on, like, it was all group dates. It was probably all fucking group dates that like, he went on with this girl. Insane.
Head, and I looked at my hand, and there was so much blood. And then I like started looking around, and everything felt wet, and I was like, oh my gosh, I was going to the bathroom. So I look at him and I ask him, I'm like, is this pee? He's like, no, they just like dumped water on you. And I was like, okay. And so they basically told us that because the streets in Canada are
She was aggressively mid. Oh boy.
so narrow, they couldn't bring an ambulance. It had to be a fire truck, which I didn't care. I just wanted to get to the hospital. So these firemen come and they get me up, and I stand up, I look down, look at the puddle of water, then I smell my dress, I go, oh my gosh, this is urine. So you're telling me that I've been dating this man for 3 days, and he is now sitting in a pool of my urine and my blood, watching me have seizures. I was just I couldn't believe that this was the reality of what was happening. I get into the truck and they take us to the hospital, and I'm still freaking out at this point because I literally don't know if I have like a severe brain bleed or what's going on. And they take us into the waiting room and they're about to take us back. And I remember the nurse said that my ex couldn't go back with me because they still had super strict restrictions from COVID. So he had to wait in the waiting room. And I remember just freaking out.
Okay, so this is probably 2021, 2022. Okay. Oh.
Because no one is speaking English at this point, and I don't know what to do. I'm so terrified. I feel so alone, and I remember just looking at him, and he could just see the fear in my eyes, and I'm like, I don't know what to do. He's like, just stay calm. I was like, okay. And he ends up leaning into me before they tell him that it's time to go, and he tells me, before you go, I just wanted to tell you that I love you. And I just remember being like, really? Here of all places?
Do you think that he fucking planned, guys? What if he planned the fall and the urine on her? What if he planned the fall, put ketchup all over her, was constantly knocking her out with chloroform, right? Let's say he was constantly knocking her out with chloroform and he planted the urine. He pissed on her. All for this moment. All for this moment. Fuck me. Oh my God. This is insane.
He was like, yeah, I want to tell you. And I said, I mean, I was so grateful to hear it from him, but also I was like, are you only telling me this because you think I'm about to die? And so a lot of things were going through my head, and
Fun fact, she joined Bachelor in Paradise and quit the second week. Like, she didn't date anybody. Not sure what that says about. Yeah, she just didn't find any of them attractive, which is common for Bachelor in Paradise. People do leave because nobody's pairing with them. Might mean that she's annoying. But that could also, this is like a fun thing with Bachelor in Paradise, which you wouldn't know, chat. A lot of the Bachelor in Paradise contestants actually meet off camera. And they kind of go in and they fake date each other from time to time, or they fake meeting each other for the first time, because typically they're like bachelor mixers, and people have been caught going to the bachelor mixers. Very famously, there was one season where these two were vilified, and I mean it, vilified, because they were dating off camera and they went to the Bachelor in Paradise to then date on camera. Now, you can make the argument that that's stupid regardless. Ended
up going back, getting a CT scan. They ended up saying, hey, everything's good. You just have a severe concussion. Hence why I had seizures. And they're like, you're gonna have to get 4 stitches in your eyebrow. You guys can kind of see the scar. I'm wearing makeup, so you can't really tell. So after I get my stitches, I go back out to the waiting room and I see my ex, and I automatically just feel this sense of protection and safety because he made me feel so calm, and I was just so grateful to him. And if you watched the Who the Fuck Did I Marry series, I truly believe that this whole experience was the equivalent to Risa Tisa's tire blowout before she met her ex-husband, and God was telling me to run far away from this man. My bad on misinterpreting this message, and I just thought that this was God's way of telling me that this man's gonna keep me safe, and clearly that wasn't the case. But we leave the hospital and we go back to the hotel, and obviously I couldn't sleep because I had a severe concussion, so we just stayed up talking all night. And the next day I went to go get all my prescriptions, and then we went to the airport, and it was a really, really tough goodbye because I was just so sad to say goodbye to him. And he had already booked a flight to come visit me in Dallas in 10 days. He booked it before I.
It's a tough goodbye. He's visiting me in 10 days, by the way. I hate this bitch. I hate her so much. Oh, by the way, he's visiting me in 10 days. My brain was bashed in. I have a cut on my eyeball. Well, fuck me. Not gonna lie, if I didn't know he scammed her, the way she talks about him, she seems like she's talking about someone she's still in love with. Yes. Yes, this is very much that limerence thing, where, like, even if she doesn't like this guy, she's still incredibly in love with him. I'm actually really curious if she's ever shown the receipts. I'm sure he's a shitty guy. Swindling and defrauding people is very disgusting. But, like, I don't know. There's a lot of red flags equally about her, in my opinion. There are red flags with her personality, too, that are, like, she's incredibly superficial. In my opinion, very superficial. She's giving... If this is her harrowing abuse story, she's incredibly superficial about it. And it's very bizarre.
Even went to Monaco because he told me he was so sure of me and of us. And so I knew I was going to see him in a little bit over a week, but it just wasn't enough. And I just wanted to be with him 24/7. But I said my goodbyes to him, and I was like, you know what? It's going to be okay. I'm going to see him soon. Hopped on the plane and went back to Dallas. And it was really difficult to come home for multiple reasons. The biggest reason was that I had to tell my parents that not only did I have this crazy accident, but I also am in love with this man that lives in Denmark. And that's just not an easy conversation to have with the Nigerian parents. And if you know Nigerian parents or if you have Nigerian parents, you can already assume how this unfolded.
I hope you're. Oh man, I'm not gonna say what I hope her parents did.
Obviously, they support me and they love me and they're wonderful parents, but they were also scared and like, what are you telling me right now?
Yeah.
But I dropped the ball, and over time, like, they were so supportive of me and my decisions. I will say the bigger challenge was healing from the head injury, because I was just doing crazy ass shit. Like, I remember I got into the shower with my socks on, and then I ran out the door with my bonnet on, chasing Smokey through the streets because I thought he ran away, even though he was inside the house. And to this day,
Bitch, I think you had brain damage. Honey, I think you had brain damage. Why did you fly? Dog, that is not what an average Nigerian parent would do. Majunga, we are learning so much about you, by the way. We have now learned so much about Majunga in 1 second.
I still think I have lingering effects because I'll add all these filler words and like what I want to say in my head, I think it, but I can't figure out the words sometimes. And it's very frustrating at times, and you will notice it throughout the series. And it's not something I used to do, but overall, I'm fine. My brain's fine.
Wait, if you're saying that you're struggling to find, sweetie, maybe you do have some form of like post like concussion injury. Oh boy.
So obviously we're talking on the phone every single day because, you know, we're in a relationship, and he calls me and he says, hey, I'm considering offering on this apartment complex in Copenhagen. And we had talked about his real estate investments back in the south of France. He told me that he owned 3 apartments in Copenhagen, 2 of which were rented out, 1 of which he was occupying as his personal residence. And this apartment complex he was interested in had 34 units. And then there was a top floor that was unfinished, and it could be converted to 10 penthouses. And he said, it's fully rented out. It would be such a great investment. The cash flow is great. The only thing is that it's going to take up a lot of my cash liquidity and also like stocks and crypto and everything. And
Oh boy, this is just getting fancier and Listen, I don't care if you have crypto money. I don't care, but knowing that he's a fucking swindler, it starts getting really interesting.
obviously I'm gonna be traveling to the States and I want to be mindful of like finances. That's why I like want to bring it up to you. So what do you think? And I said, well, at this point we've been dating for like a couple weeks, so I didn't feel like I was in a place where I could insert my opinion. So I told him like, whatever you think, I'll support you. And I also didn't know jack shit about real estate investments in Copenhagen. And also I had just gone to the south of France with him. That whole entire trip, I had spent 15 euros the entire trip.
Majunga, I knew you were white as fuck, but thank you for saying that your childhood best friend was Nigerian. You saw them get the shit disciplined out of her. Thank you, Majunga.
I tried to pay for stuff. He would not take a dime from me. So at this point, I like almost am like searching for a way to prove to him that I'm not with him for his money. So I told him, I go, if I need to, you know, take on some more of like the financial responsibilities in this relationship, I'm more than happy to do so because this is a partnership and you're there for me when I need you and I'm gonna be there for you when you need me. And he said, you know, I appreciate you saying that, but I don't think it's gonna come to that, but thank you for saying that. I said, of course. So he offers on it and his offer wins apparently by like 1,000 euros. And he decides he's gonna move forward with this property maybe a couple days before he came to visit me in Dallas. And I was fully supportive of him buying this property.
Girl, what are you saying? Honey, what are you saying?
100%, because he's a successful businessman, and if he thinks this is a smart move, then I trust him. And also, the money was a whole separate other thing. I didn't care. All I cared about was being with him. So
You keep saying you don't care about the money, but your entire relationship is built on dollar signs. Your entire relationship was built on dollar signs. Okay. 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 Good to know. Good to know. Good to know.
he's coming to Dallas, and I'm getting excited.
But you know what, chat? Our relationship is built on dollar signs. So remember, tip, like, subscribe, support the stream today. And yes, chat, even you can make it to the goals. We can get the goals.
Not just because he's coming to see me, but this is a trip where he's gonna start to meet my people, and it's getting real. And so
My people. Okay, okay, okay. Oh, no. Axis.
Black families, handshake emoji, Asian families excessive child discipline.
Is that why you fetishize them, Axis? Thank you for the 5. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
I remember he was flying into Dallas. It's the middle of September, and I made this sign that said, welcome to Dallas, my Danish man. And I'm waiting outside baggage claim, waiting for him to get through customs. And I'm holding the sign super high, waiting for him to come through. And I will continue the rest in part 5. Danish deception.
Oh, okay,
Part
okay.
5.
Post-workout, post-workout.
So he comes out of the baggage claim past customs, and I see him, and immediately I'm hit with the realization that I've
Axis. What? I'm fucking around with Axis. Axis, you can't be the race guy and be surprised.
got it so bad. And if you've never been in love before, falling in love for the first time is like getting swallowed by a current, and you don't even know it's there, and you're good one moment, and then before you realize it, you're in deep, and there's nothing you can do to control it. And that's how I felt. And I knew this man has the power to destroy me, and that was exhilarating but also terrifying at the same time. And I was just really excited to integrate him with my people, and most importantly, I was excited for him to meet Smokey, who is just my world. And watching the way he was with Smokey, they instantly became best friends, and Smokey grew really attached to him. And I mean, I knew
Girl, what's with all the... Okay, listen, this is how you know this is somebody that lives in her 20s. Like, all this liquor in the background, this is somebody that's like, this is their 20s, 100%. This is someone that has like a decent job in their 20s.
I'd fallen in love with him, but I realized I hadn't even scratched the surface when I saw him with Smokey. And so we did a lot of things that trip. So we went to a Cowboys game.
He loved the dog, guys. The dog, he loved it.
We went to a retirement party for a partner at my accounting firm. We went to a couple dinners, and then we also just stayed at home. I cooked a lot. I remember I made him red stew and rice, which is my favorite Nigerian food. It's a staple, and I put a lot of habanero peppers. I remember being nervous, like, can he handle spice? And he ate it, and he loved it. And I was like, oh my gosh, this white boy loves spice. This is perfect.
Oh no. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. What if I like making drinks, L? That's fine. You can like making drinks. I just think it's funny. This white boy loves spice. Okay. I somewhat... Oh my god. Okay, okay. Fuck me. Can a white boy speak a little Espanol? Si. Fuck me. As a guy, oh god, yeah, never have I seen someone to this degree fetishize a white man. Yeah. Like, I'm a white guy that likes spice, but like I don't think that's ever been an impact on my relationships with people whose cultures like use spicy foods. So like, it is a weird thing. I mean, like I've dated people who I was like the white boy that liked like the ethnic food that like people didn't normally eat. But like that's kind of like the only thing. Falgi, you're Italian, of course you're gonna like spice. Yes, no. But like I've dated people and like I like the like blood pudding. And like nobody else was eating it. And I was like, yeah, no, it's nice. And like I get like weird fucking stares and I'm like, oh, but I like it.
She gives off the vibe of being into race play.
I disavow, but maybe avow. I don't know how to feel about it. I dated a guy who refused to season anything. Our relationship wasn't shit because of that. But he was. He was shit for that though. If a man don't season his food, or if a woman don't season their food, or an NB don't season their food, run away. They're a psycho killer.
And everything just felt like, again, it felt like everything was aligning. And so I wanted to plan something special for him to meet all of my close friends and family. And so I was like, oh, maybe we can go meet for a drink. And he said, you know, like we can go out to eat. I'll pay for everything. I was like, are you sure? He said, absolutely. So I planned brunch, and we went to brunch here in Dallas, and it was a handful of my really close friends, and my two sisters were there, and my cousin and his now wife was there too. So we sit down at brunch, and everyone's like asking him questions, and everyone is just so impressed by him. Again, we're dealing with someone that's very charming, very charismatic. And the thing about my ex is when you meet him, he's so good at asking questions and he's good at listening. And so it's really easy to get into good conversation with him, and it's really easy to connect with him. And so we had a great brunch. I remember I was like in the bathroom, and my friends
I'm glad that he's a good swindler. Continue.
Me, and they're like, oh my gosh, he's amazing. Like, we're so happy for you. And I just, I was so grateful to call him mine. And so after brunch, we go grab a drink at a place nearby the restaurant. And at that point, we're all just kind of like chit-chatting, and my cousin and my ex are having a conversation. And this cousin is like a second brother to me. We're very, very close. And I desperately wanted to get the stamp of approval from him. And so obviously they're shooting their shit, and I'm eavesdropping on the conversation 100%. And because I can. And I'm like overhearing them just like, talking about random stuff. And then I hear my cousin ask him, you just have the build of an athlete. Did you play sports? And my ex goes, yeah, I actually played handball. And my cousin goes, isn't that an Olympic sport? And my ex goes, yeah, I actually went to the Olympics twice. And
Maybe she deserved this. Maybe. Okay. This is yeah, that's easily verifiable. I mean, he could have gone to see the Olympics. I'm holding X to doubt.
immediately inserted myself into the conversation. I go, you went to the Olympics? What? And he goes, you know what? I was like the backup of the backup. I didn't even play. I don't like to brag about it because I don't think it's that big of a deal. I was like, well, did you get medals? He was like, yeah, I got a bronze and I got a gold. I was like, well, that's amazing. Like, I'm so impressed. And so,
how are you a backup of a backup and you have a gold medal? How are you the backup of the backup and you have a gold medal? Bitch, did you not Google this?
Now I'm thinking, this man is so humble. So let's add humble to the list of all the reasons why he's such an amazing man. So obviously we had a wonderful trip. He came to Dallas again. I did not spend any money while he was here. I obviously paid money for groceries when he wasn't around, but other than that, he wanted to pay for everything. He didn't even want me to pay for ice cream, small things. He was like, I want to treat you. And I was like, okay, that's fine. So I remember he was leaving to go back to Denmark and I was so depressed. And if anyone has been in a long distance
Yeah, that's not humble. It got brought up and he brought up an insane fucking lie. Jesus Christ. So far, what I've learned from this story is that you shouldn't be this incredibly shallow and naive when dating. Yeah, I would agree. I would say that that's a big part of this. She sounds incredibly shallow and naive. This is just my opinion.
This lady looks like she has to Google bro.
Maybe. God, I love baked mac and cheese. I haven't had mac and cheese in a bit. I love baked mac and cheese. Fuck. That made me think about it. Yeah. Yeah, this man went from damn they fell for this, I'm gonna make millions off the idiots. That's fucking hilarious.
relationship, you know how difficult it is to say goodbye. And so I was so depressed and I'm saying goodbye to him at the airport. I'm bawling my eyes out. We finally say goodbye. He goes through security, I go home, and I just am crying for hours. I'm so depressed. And I remember I was supposed to go to a birthday party that night, and I texted my friend and was like, I literally cannot stop crying, so I can't go to this birthday. I hate canceling things. And so that's how bad it was. I was actually depressed for literally days. And after he got through security, he was like, I can't even walk to the terminal. I'm so depressed, I just want to walk back out and just come back to you. And I was like, I want that too. And he said, we need to start having the hard conversations on what we want for the future. And I said, absolutely. And so he's like, we need to decide whether or not we're gonna live in Denmark or live in Dallas. And I still can't believe this came out of my mouth, but I told him, I said, listen, I know you already have a very much established career. And so if you want me to move to Denmark, I'm more than happy to have that conversation with you and discuss it. And he said, looking at you with your friends and your family this past week has made me realize that I don't want to take that away from you. And you're really close with your parents. They're driving distance away. And I live in Copenhagen. My family lives in my hometown in Aalborg, which is hours away. I don't have family in Copenhagen. And I want us to be around family, especially if we're talking about having kids one day. I want that support and I want you to be around the people that you love. And so I was so happy because realistically, I did not want to move to Denmark. And so I was so happy that this man is
Guys, this guy's safety. For this guy's safety, he's kind of lucky he was a scammer. It's an insane statement. Okay. This is one of the most insane. That's a red flag, but so is she. Yeah, there's so many weird red flags in this that I can't tell who is a bigger red flag right now. Okay. Yeah, she's a parade of red flags, and many of them are daddy issues. Fuck. Yeah, there's a lot that's going on right now, and I have very mixed feelings. I have incredibly mixed feelings right now. Holy shit.
willing to give up everything to be with me. So I was so excited about that. So he was gone for about 3 weeks to a month at this point, and he hadn't booked his flight back to Dallas yet, and then he booked it on a Thursday, I remember it. So now we're in the middle of October 2022. He books his flight, and he said, okay, I'm coming next week, Wednesday. And I said, okay, perfect, and I'm getting all excited again.
So far the guy has not done the scam, right? And listen, I get it. He's probably a terrible person. Let's fucking not forget. But he still hasn't done the scam yet. I'm waiting for the shoe to drop.
And so I called him Friday morning, and keep in mind that there's a time difference. So it's about 7 hours. So
if you need Fauji, I can just say it. I mean, Layla, if you want to say it, she's just as awful as he is. I mean, she hasn't scammed him, but I will say that she clearly was an easy mark, which is part of the problem, because in my opinion, part of it was that she wanted someone who did have money. And and I do think that she had shallow expectations for a partner.
So whenever I wake up at 5 or 6, he's basically halfway.
She could be psycho, but he could also just be a fraudster. And that's what the story is about.
Through his day. And so I called him that Friday and I said, hey, how's your day been? He's like, it's been such a stressful, intense day. I go, what happened? He's like, I found out that the apartment complex that I bought is dealing with some major foundation issues. It could affect safety of the tenant, and I'm really stressing out, and I need to get it fixed. And I was like, oh, okay, did you schedule the repair? He's like, not yet. It's gonna cost a hefty chunk of change. I was like, how much is it gonna cost? He's like, $50,000. I was like, $50,000? What? That's obviously a lot of money. I'm sure it's a lot of money to a lot of you. It's a lot of money to me. And so I was like, okay, what's the plan? He's like, I have a good portion of it, so I just need to ask my dad for a little bit of a loan. And so I remember being like, I can never in a million years ask my dad for a loan of $50,000. So at this point, I was aware of the fact that they had this royal title, they had this family trust, that and the family had money. I didn't really know how much or the details behind it, but he told me he was gonna call his dad and ask him for a loan. So A couple hours go by, he calls me and he's really upset. He's like, I talked to my dad on the phone. He will not loan me the money. He says I've been acting super irresponsible, traveling, doing all these things, and so he just doesn't want to. He thinks I need to like learn from my actions, and if I'm not prepared for something like this, then there's nothing he can do to help me. And so I felt really bad for him because he essentially felt like his dad was abandoning him, and I felt really bad for him. And so I said, what's the plan? He's like, I'll figure it out. Like, you have to like sell some things. Like, I'll figure it out. And I was like, okay, well, keep me updated, like whatever you need. And so a couple days go by and he's communicating that he's still stressed out about coming up with this money. And so I said, you know what? Like, I can loan you the money. And so
yeah, based fake dad. That dad's not real. That conversation didn't happen. Asking for daddy's money would give me an ick. It's so hard I'd prolapse. Yeah.
at this point, I had paid off my student loans, paid off my car, bought a house. Like, had a decent savings. I was in a really, really good financial position. And so
she did say this story wasn't going to make her look good. I guess the problem is that, like, I think it's doing, like, her actions, obviously, but, like, I will say that, like, there are other parts of it, like, it doesn't make her look good because she was gullible, right? But there's other parts of it that don't make her look good. I really think that this was, like, the perfect storm of being susceptible due to the standards of dating that she kind of put out, even though she's not explicitly saying it, combined with, like, what he was able to do. That's not what I'm talking about. This is, yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. It's far beyond gullible. But that's what I'm saying. It's like a perfect storm of things. So, like, this isn't like just gullibility. There is like a real storm of issues.
So I wanted to help him, especially because, like, this man has, like, treated me so well and done so much for me, and I truly felt like we were in a partnership, especially, like, when you're talking about the future with someone. And so I told him, like, let me loan it to you. He goes, I would never in a million years borrow money from you.
I'm gonna drop this earlier than she ever will. She's religious. I mean, she dropped that it was a sign from God. She thought it was a sign from God. I kind of, like, immediately saw that.
It's okay. Like, I don't mind helping. He's like, that's, like, not even a discussion I want to have. And I said, okay, that's fine. So a couple days go by, and he's still stressing out about coming up with this money. I asked him, like, how much do you need? He's like, it's 10,000 I need. And I was like, again, like, let me loan it to you. He said, no, I'm not taking money from you. And then a couple days go by, and he says, okay, like, now I need 6K. And I was like, okay, again, let me give it to you. He's like, no, I still don't want to take money from you. And then basically, like, 2 days before he's supposed to come to Dallas, he tells me, he says, just letting you know, I'm not able to come to Dallas because I need to figure out this issue. And I'm, at this point, start freaking out. So I'm like, no, like, I 100% like want you to come still. Just let me loan you the money so that you'll be fine and we can, you know, be happy and be together. And so after some thinking, he was like, okay, fine, I will borrow the money from you, but you have to promise me that this will be the only time and that you're 100% comfortable with giving me this money. And I said, absolutely, I'm 100% comfortable. And we will continue on in part 6. The Danish.
Girl, what? What? You loan... He made her promise. Yes, no, well, that's a thing. So he can go. So that's like a thing with, like, scams. He'll go and be like, oh, blah, blah, blah. Well, it's not the forcing. So what's happening is that, what's happening is that he set it up. So how these scams work is that the setup is, it is your conscious decision. So you can never go back to them and try to get any kind of legal ramification for giving them money. That's usually how it works. Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't ask for it in gift cards, though. That would have been funny. It's very weird. It's very bizarre. And everything is set up in a way where, like, she is pushing it on him. And again, that's part of the rube. That's part of the game. That's part of the scam. But yeah.
Deception part 6. Okay, so I decided to loan him this money, and he's agreed to it. So I downloaded this app. It's called Revolut, and it's kind of like Venmo, where you can send money internationally instantly. So I downloaded it. It took like a day to, like, verify all my information, and I was able to send the 6K. And the next day, he flew into Dallas to come be with me. And so that trip was really fun. We really didn't do a whole lot. I remember we just, like, went to the state fair and went to dinner, like, once, and the rest of the time we just hung out at home. And I remember it was hard for him because he was dealing with some really bad back pains, and I think it was just because he was flying a lot, and he said he injured his back when he was playing handball. So I remember I was giving him, like, back massages, like, almost every single day because it was really, really bad. And so this trip was very, very short. He was only there for a week, but I would say this was a very special trip for us because this was like the first time that he actually started making friends, like through me. And I started watching him start to make guy friends. And so this was when I got even more excited because I felt like we were really starting to, you know, build a life here in Dallas together. So he leaves, obviously, again, I'm depressed again. And at this point, I know he's definitely planning on coming to Dallas for Thanksgiving to meet my parents, but I didn't know when he was planning on flying back. And so basically, he's gone, and I feel like the second he leaves, like everything just kind of like starts to like fall apart for him. And so for starters, his back pain was getting like much, much worse. He was complaining about it every single day. Like he would text me in the middle of the night being like, it hurt so bad. Like, and I felt terrible because I wanted to help him, but there was nothing I could do because I'm living 5,000 miles away. On top of that, his uncle, who was really sick with cancer, had passed away, and he told me the funeral was gonna be next week. And I remember telling him, I will fly to Denmark if I need to, if you want me to be there for you.
There are so many red flags. So his life falls apart the moment he leaves you. That's a fucking red flag. Yeah, you're not depressed, you're sad. Yeah, I get sad when Cloudy leaves, but I'm not depressed because I talk to her when she leaves. I reach out to her. I always make sure like this is so whatever.
And he's like, no, it's fine. Like I can handle it. It's okay. And so basically that happened. And then I remember I went to Charlotte to go visit one of my girlfriends who had just had a baby. One of my girlfriends that I've been friends with for years and years since college. And so
I don't care.
So I'm in Charlotte with my friend. And I get a text from him. He's saying, hey, my dad's in the hospital. And I was like, oh my gosh, what happened? And he was like, we still don't understand what happened, but the doctors are running tests. And so later on that day, he told me that he had blood poisoning and he had like his infection numbers were like going crazy. And I remember telling him, well, if you're not able to come to Dallas in November, obviously I'll understand, especially like if your dad's in the hospital, like I understand completely. Again, I told him, I'll be there for you if you want me to. He's like, it's okay. Over the course of the next couple days, his dad started to show some more improvement. So he ended up deciding to come to visit me in Dallas. Now we're in November of 2022. So he comes back to Dallas.
Okay. So this is the year after this is 2 years after she's on The Bachelor, to be fair.
Dallas, and basically...
And it premiered in June of 2019, so it was probably months before.
This was a very exciting trip because, number one, I used to be on the board of an organization called UIU. It's a nonprofit that celebrates Igbo Nigerian culture, and my culture is so important to me. And so
okay, that's based. That's actually based.
I was the event coordinator for the Dallas chapter, and I was so proud of this. Like, we had just won chapter of the year out of all the chapters in the nation. It was just such a huge accomplishment for me and my
Okay, that's really cool.
whole board. And I remember my cousin, who I told you guys I'm really close with, he was the president. And so we had a huge gala that we planned that year, and we had people flying in from all over the country to come. And obviously it took a lot of planning, and I was working really hard to make sure it was executed perfectly. I remember the day of the gala comes, and he is helping me set up, do everything that entire day. And this was the first time that I fully like integrated him with a bunch of Nigerians. And I was really curious to see how he was going to react to being with all these people, because obviously Nigerians are so much fun, but some people might think we're a little bit too much. Forget them, but
Okay. No, Nigerians are great. I have Nigerian friends. They're very, very sweet. I work with some Nigerian nurses. They're very, very sweet. They do give the mom talk, but they're very sweet.
I wanted to make sure that he wasn't one of those people. So we have the gala, he helped me set up all day, and I'm just kind of watching him at the gala, just talking to people, and he's getting along with everyone. He's dancing to the Afro beats, and I just feel like, okay, he really takes my culture seriously. Like he wants to make sure that I know that he's gonna make sure this is a part of his life too. And I remember just being really happy about that. And so after the gala was done, it was a couple days.
I just see this white boy wearing Nigerian garb in my head now. And I just see her with the biggest shit-eating grin while he's thinking, how do I get the money from all these fucking people? Fuck me, man. Okay, we're just gonna keep going.
And my parents came to visit me in Dallas for Thanksgiving. And so I remember he went to go stay at a hotel because my parents, obviously, they're Nigerian, very traditional, we want to be respectful. So he went and stayed at a hotel, and my parents came to visit, and he was here when my parents got in town. And I'm telling you, my parents fell in love with him immediately. And I think watching him with my dad it just warmed my heart because they just instantly connected. And my dad, like everyone else, was very...
You could have skipped all of these parts because apparently, from what I understand, it's part 9. It's part 9 that it gets crazy. You could have skipped a lot of this. And just said, like, this is what he did. This was a series of things of how he ingratiated himself into my life. White men after they compliment your curly hair type shit. That's insane.
Fascinated by him. And I remember the following day we went to African Market with my parents. It was just me, my ex, and my parents. And he's talking to my parents about the Olympics, and they're asking him all these questions. And he's like, yeah, like the gold medal I gave to my mom, she has it, and then the bronze medal I actually donated it to charity. And I'm just like, this guy is just so freaking amazing. And so we had
yeah, okay, can we understand what's the fucking What's a charity gonna do with a fucking bronze medal for handball? I'm sorry. What the fuck is a charity gonna do with a fucking bronze medal fucking handball? Okay. Okay, sure.
Amazing Thanksgiving. It was his first Thanksgiving in the state. And my grandmother had recently just passed away. And this is my dad's
Good night, Pinker.
mom. It was really, really sad. And he was talking to us about the plans for the burial. And so he said, we're going to do the burial in May. It's going to be in the village in Nigeria. And he looks at my dad and he's
Funny thing is that at the end, she's like, I know I only talked about the bad stuff, but he did a lot of good things too. It's like, bitch, you praised him for a third of the story. If that's how she ends this, I'm going to lose my fucking mind. I may sit here for the 4 hours. I don't know yet.
says, I'll be there. And I remember looking at him like, I don't think you really understand what you're agreeing to. And he said, I don't care. I'm gonna be there. I'm like, we're talking about the village in Nigeria. We're not just talking about like a big city where you can get a little bit of culture shock, where you like, you know, or go back to your hotel. And no, we're talking about being in the village. And he said, I don't care. I'm gonna be there. And so that was when I realized like this man really takes my culture seriously. He wants to be there for me. He wants to be there for my family. And that meant so much to me. And so at the end of the trip, I told him, I said, this week has showed me that I know that I want to spend my life with you. And I'm just, thank you for being the man that you are. And he said, I want to spend my life with you. And I'm gonna let you know, like,
Yeah, this is like she does. I don't want to make conjecture, but it does like, and this shit happens. But it does sound like she's still very, very into him. If my girlfriend says she had both a bronze and gold medal for handball, I'm Googling that shit. I know, that's what I'm saying.
I already know that I want to marry you someday. Like, and I don't want you to ever doubt that. And so he asked me, he's like, I have a question. Like, do you have an idea of what ring you would want? And I was like, I mean, I have some ideas. I have not thought about it really extensively. And so he said, what are your thoughts on us going ring shopping? And keep in mind, at this point, we've been dating for like 4 months, 3-4 months. And so I was like, okay, let's do it. So we found a jeweler. We went and we tried on some rings. I remember I'm trying on lab grown and natural, and I'm like looking at the price differences, and I'm like, I'm not allowing you to buy me a natural stone because that number is just crazy. I'd rather us spend money investing, doing other things. And he said, well, let me look into it because I kind of do want to get you
4 months? Fuck me, dog. I listen, I don't. 4 months. 4 months. I am, huh. Okay. Interesting. I'm glad we could do this for 4 months. I have to turn the camera off for a bit, but 4 months, okay. How old is this woman? So at the time of the story, she is 25-ish. So at the time of telling it now, she's probably 27, 28. Oh, that's funny. I had to get comfortable. This chair, I like this chair. I don't like the back of it. I know the back is like kind of broken. It's more, I don't like how high up it is.
And I was like, no, we're getting a lab grown. And I remember like, if you've, gone ring shopping, price difference is like astronomical. And so I remember I picked out a ring that I really liked, and then we left, and that was basically the end of like the rings for that moment. And so he goes back to Denmark, and the plan was for me to go on a trip with him for Christmas. As I mentioned previously, my parents were traveling for Christmas, and him and his older sister do not have a relationship. Like, they can't be in intimate settings together, so they alternate Christmases. Like, he had last Christmas, so this Christmas was her Christmas. So we already had planned to spend Christmas together. And so originally we were talking about going to South Africa, like I mentioned before, and then we started looking at flights, and he was like, it's a long trip, I only want to fly business, and they were like $12,000 round trip. He's like, well, maybe we can make it work. I was like, we are not spending that much on flights to South Africa, that's not happening. And so I started looking at other flights, and then we talked about maybe going to Brazil, and then he tells me, okay, make an itinerary and look at hotels and flights and everything and send it to me, and I'll book it. We're gonna go to Brazil.
Okay.
I said, okay, sounds good. So I wake up one day, I said, hey, did you book the travel?
Okay, did you ever think about like what happened to the fucking hotel or fucking condominiums that you guys fucking purchased? And like, what are you gonna do with the fucking $6K that you lent them? Was that ever a fucking question?
And he was like, no, I haven't, but there's something to talk to you about. I go, what's up? He goes, so I talked to a doctor because my back has gotten really, really bad, and turns out I have 2 herniated discs, and I'm gonna need to get surgery. And I said, okay, like, that's fine. And he said, I'm gonna have to get surgery December 21st. And I said, oh wow, okay, well, that's fine. We don't need to go on a trip. I'll just come to Denmark and I'll help you recover and everything. And he said, actually, no, I don't want you to come to Denmark. I want you to be there, but I don't want that to be the first time you meet my parents, and they definitely want to be there. And at this point, I'm like, what do you mean? I'm your girlfriend, and we're talking about a future. Why would I not be there when you're getting a major surgery? And I will continue on in part 7.
Okay. Okay, we've reached, okay, man. Okay. Remember, this is 24 parts.
Man, this is rich people problems.
Jesus
I
Christ.
can't relate.
I don't think we're gonna make every part, but this is interesting. Okay, chat! Part 7!
Okay, Danish Deception, part 7. So
Oh, damn, girl. Okay, word. Looking good.
he tells me that he needs to get a back surgery, and he does not want me to come to Denmark because he wants me to meet his parents with him there because there's a serious language barrier, and he wants to make sure that I can communicate with them through him. And he's like, I don't want you to be using Google Translate to talk to them the first time you meet them. And Yeah, and at first I was really upset because I felt like he wasn't treating me like I was his family. And I remember having a conversation with my mom about it because I was really frustrated. And she asked me, she said, do you think his parents know about you? And I remember I got really defensive because I told her, in what world would his parents not know about me? And I told him, I really want to be there. I was still kind of like pushing on him for like the full day. And I remember like that was like one of our first like little fights. At this point, we had not fight at all. Like we have not had a single fight in the last 4 months because it's December of 2022. And so I told him, I said, listen, I really want to be there for you. And he was like, honestly, I don't want to like fight about this anymore. Like, let's just put this to rest. And I remember being frustrated because I also didn't have plans for Christmas because my family was gonna be traveling and I had planned to spend Christmas with him. So I remember I reached out to my best friend Natalie. I was talking to her about the situation. She said, why don't you fly to New York, spend a couple days with me, and then we'll go spend Christmas in Boston with my family. And I said, okay, like we can do that. And so I brought up the option to my ex. He said, I think that's a great idea. I obviously don't want you to spend Christmas by yourself. And so I said, okay, that works. And I'm obviously extremely sad because at this point I hadn't seen him in weeks and now I don't know when I'm gonna see him again because he's getting the surgery on December 21st. So I made plans, booked my flight to New York, and a couple days before I leave, he told me, maybe what we can do is you can come to Denmark maybe a couple days after my back surgery because the doctors say that I need to be up walking a couple days afterwards, and I think it's just my mom that's gonna come. So what we can do is you can come meet my mom, and we can go see like the Christmas lights, and at that point I'll be able to translate and everything. And so I said that's fine. So I was like, I'll fly to New York, go to Boston, spend.
Okay. So you don't spend a lot of time with him. Yeah, this is okay. This is boring. Come on. Can we like skip to the part where this fucking matters?
Christmas with my friend Natalie, and then I'll also have like an extra bag packed for like things to wear in Copenhagen.
I'm about to go 2 times speed because like we're in like she's giving too much fucking detail now. Holy shit.
And just make sure I'm prepared to figure out what the plan is whenever he tells me. And so I think we had decided that it was December like 26th or 27th I was going to go to Copenhagen and then spend like a week there.
Okay.
So I go to New York, have a great couple days with my friend Natalie, and then on like the second day I'm in New York, I get a message from him, and he said, oh my goodness, my dad's back in the hospital. And I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm so sorry to hear that. He's like, his infection numbers are bad again, his blood poisoning again, and he ended up getting diagnosed with leukemia. And I just, I wanted to be there
My favorite color is red.
Thank you, Bossums. My favorite color is apparently blue from what I've been told. Thank you.
for him. And I said, like, do you want me to come? Like, I want to be there for you. Like, I don't want you to feel like you have to navigate through these things without having like your partner there to support you. And he said, right now, I just need to like focus on my family, and I'm grateful for you to be here, but I also don't want you to meet my dad for the first in the hospital bed. And I'm obviously frustrated because I really want to be there for him, but I also don't want to be too pushy because I'm like, this is your family, your dad's in the hospital. I don't want to put too much on him. And so we made the decision that I was just going to be kind of like on standby, which was fine because I was with my best friend Natalie and I love her so much. And so I was having honestly a wonderful time with her and her family. And so we had left New York, went to Boston. Obviously I'm still in constant communication with him, trying to figure out what's happening. And he sends me a message. I think it's on December 23rd. He sends me a message and he says, I'm so angry. I just got into a fight with my sister. And maybe like 5 minutes later he gives me a call. And I'm like, what happened? He said, we're sitting in the hospital room and my dad is obviously laying in the bed. And my older sister looks to me and says, so where are you spending Christmas? And I said, not with you, bitch. And it turned into a huge fight. They start screaming at each other in the hospital. He storms out. He feels so disrespected. His mom's upset. His little sister's upset because like,
okay. Why? Okay, not gonna lie, like, if I, okay, not you bitch is a statement.
they're already spending some of their holidays in the hospital, and like now like they have all this tension in the family. And so I remember just being like so confused as to like why his sister is like this awful person, like why is she treating like this, especially at a time when your dad is not doing okay. And so he calls me, he's like, I'm just so upset, like I want to get away. And I said, well, let me know what you need from me, like I'm literally a plane right away. And he said, well, I obviously like now that I'm like not don't want to be around my family, I would love to see you. And I said, okay, well, I can book a flight to Copenhagen and come stay with you. And he said, I don't know, I just kind of feel like I just need to get out of Denmark. And at that point, he was obviously in his hometown in Aalborg, which is 4 hours north of Copenhagen. And so he took a train back to Copenhagen. He's spending Christmas completely by himself, so sad. And we're still trying to iron out what the plans are. And he, again, tells me I want to leave Denmark. I was like, are you sure? Because at this point, like I knew that I wouldn't say we were having like financial issues, but I knew like obviously there was like a little bit of tension with like all his expenses that were adding up. And so I was like, it might be easier for me to just fly there and I can just stay with you. And he's like, I just really want to get away. And I said, okay, where do you want to go? He said, have you been to Paris before? And I said, no, I actually have not been to Paris. And he's like, well, let's do Paris. And I said, okay, I'm absolutely down to do Paris. And so I look at flights. I book a flight from Boston to Paris, the layover in Iceland, and I leave on the 26th, and I get to Paris on the 27th, and I see him. He meets me at the airport. We arranged our flights to make sure we landed around the same time. And something I need to add is before I had gone to Paris, he had told me that he had made a transfer from his business account to his personal account. And obviously, in the States, when you make a transfer like that, it's just like a click of a button. Like I have a business account, it's a click of a button. But he told me that in Denmark, when you make a transfer from your business account to your personal account, it actually has to go through the IRS. They take out the taxes, and then they deposit the money into your personal.
Okay, so they're having financial issues. And her first response is, well, it's okay. We can have the financial issues. It's fine. I am
account. And I'm over here thinking like that's so crazy, but I also know like Denmark is a foreign country that I don't know anything about. I didn't question it for a second. And so he said, I'm just gonna ask my mom to give me a quick little loan so I can obviously cover everything with Paris and whatnot. And I said, okay, just let me know what she says. And then he basically came back to me and said, she said that she will only give me money if I spend a couple more days with the family. I said, well, you should do that. Like I don't want you to feel like I'm trying to take you away from your family by any means. And he said, I don't even want to be around them right now. It's just like not good for my mental health. And then I said, okay, well, what do you need from me? I said, I can cover like the flights and hotels. It's not that big of a deal. And at that point, we had been on 2 trips together, or no, we'd only been on 1 trip together to the south of France. And then Paris was gonna be our second trip. The rest of the times, he had now visited me in Dallas 3 times. And so I told him, I said, I can pay for the flights and hotels. It's not that big of a deal. He said, are you sure? I said, yeah, of course. He's like, I just don't know what I do without you. Like, I just feel like I keep hitting these roadblocks, and you are there to pick up the pieces every single time. I'm so grateful for that. And I said, I'll always be there to support you. So now we can go back to landing in Paris. We meet at the airport, and he told me, he's like, let you know, I'm not in the best mood.
I'm personally lost at this point, chat. What is with all of these red flags and the ignorance of them? I don't know. I'm personally very fucking lost. Okay, so bad for someone that loves his family, constantly fighting with dead family members. Oh God, okay, this feels incredibly transactional. Okay, sure.
And just like really upset, and I said, I am here to make you happy. So we land in Paris, we see each other, we're so happy, and we had the most spectacular trip in Paris. Like, we were just exploring. It was my first time there, and it was obviously, I paid for a lot of that trip, and he paid for a little bit of the trip too, so we both kind of paid. And keep in mind, he still owes me $6,000 at this point. I am not concerned about the money. I don't know why I should have been concerned. I should have been noticing these red flags, like, bro, like, where's my money? But again, this is someone that I am planning on marrying, and money at this point, like, money comes and goes, and I wasn't focused on that. I was just focused on us. So we finish our trip in Paris, say our goodbyes, and we start just, getting depressed as we always do when we say goodbye. And I board my flight to Dallas, and he asked me, what are your thoughts on us meeting with an immigration attorney just to get an idea of what the process entails? And I said, absolutely, I would love to do that. Obviously, I had Googled and looked into a few things, but nothing concrete. At the time, one of my best friends was working part-time for immigration attorney. So I reached out to her, I said, hey, can I get her contact information? And she said, yeah, of course. She gives me her contact information, and I call her, we set up a meeting, and obviously, still the time difference. He had a work trip in Norway that he was at. And at this point, also, little side note, we had started sharing our locations while we were in Paris. So I had
E6 visa. E6 visa! For those who know anything about 90 Day Fiancé, as an E6, right? It's the E6 visa that he's trying to get, which is the marriage visa. Yeah, money comes and goes. Just 6K? And like, you're like, oh yeah, but he's gonna have all this money. I swear he's gonna have all this money. I don't know. Something smells fishy. And like, she is being, in my opinion, she is being like willfully ignorant. Leia, why are you barking and barking? Why are you barking and barking? Are you barking and barking because she doesn't see the red flags? You're absolutely correct, Leia.
Location at this point, and I could see that he was in Norway, and he also FaceTimed me from the hotel room, so he was in Norway 100%. And we had a call with the lawyer, and we were discussing the process, and she tells us it's going to take 18 months for you guys to get all of this process after the time you get married. And I was like, 18 months? She's like, everything is super backed up because of COVID. I always want to let my clients know this stuff so that they are fully prepared. And I just felt like that sounded like such a long time. But we finished the conversation with the lawyer, and I then called my ex, and we're talking, debriefing on everything. And there's 2 different types of ways to get permanent residency in the United States. There's consular processing, and then there's another way where you basically apply for the visa and you're living in the States full time while you're processing the visa. So obviously, because he was still working a lot and traveling a lot for work, and because of his dad's health, we decided we would do consular processing, because why not? But then we start having the discussions on, okay, but the clock starts after we get married. And that's when he says, well, I would marry you tomorrow. And I was like, well, I would marry you tomorrow. And he was like, wait, really? And now the time has come for me to...
What the fuck are you saying? Also, I want to highlight something. I didn't actually know it was snowing. I looked outside because Leia was barking at something. It's snowing by me. It's very interesting.
Drop the first of many bombs on you guys. This man is actually not my ex-fiance. He is my ex-husband. So I will end right...
So you married him. Okay. That sounds like a fucking L on you. What? Okay, let's go.
Now, and we will pick back up in part 8. The Danish Deception, part 8. I was not going to leave you guys hanging, but I do have a wedding tonight, so this will be the final part of the evening. And just want to let you guys know, I need you to bear with me. I do have a job. I do have a life. I'm trying to do this at my own pace, but I also wanted to say thank you all for being here. This is not easy to share with the world, but your support truly means so much to me. All right, so yeah, we were not just engaged, we were married, and we are now divorced. So once we made the decision to get married, I remember we had a phone call over the course of like 6 hours. And one day we talked on the phone about all the things that we wanted to get out of life. We talked about kids, we talked about religion, we talked about everything. And at the end of that day, he told me, do you still want to get married? And I said, absolutely. I'm in love with you. I want to build a life with you. I want to have a family with you. So the decision was very, very simple. And so he already told me about a month prior that he had reached out to his realtor about putting out feelers about selling his home.
She skipped over his back surgery, met days after.
Oh, I didn't know that. Fascinating. Thank you, Kyrez. Thank you.
At this point, now that we're getting married, he's like, I'm going to try to spend as much time in Dallas as possible. And I was absolutely okay with that. And so in the beginning of January, he had told me that his realtor got an offer off market for his place. And I was like, that's great. And he was like, I'm going to probably take a loss. So, I mean, I'm just trying to get as much of my down payment back. And I was like, how much are you going to end up getting back? He said, probably around $500,000. I was like, well, that's, a good solid base for us to have. And I was more than okay with that. Keep in mind, he still does owe me money at this point. So they end up going under contract. The plan is for the house to sell by the end of January. And everything seemed like it was going smooth. And then one day he calls me and he tells me that he's had the worst day ever. And I'm like, oh, now what? He's frantic. He's like, there's a fire in the control room. The electrical.
You got married to this man, and there's a fire. This woman is a rube. This woman is gullible. This woman is dumb. Like, I feel bad, but, like, not so much. Like, he said he was going to get back surgery, and that's why he couldn't come to... Oh, that's right.
Control room at the apartment complex that he bought. And he's just like, I don't know what to do. He's like, there's no power. Like, no one has power. He's like, I just paid this guy $2,000 to bring generators to power up the whole entire apartment. I have an electrician coming. And he's like freaking out. And he basically used all his money he had to put towards like the generators and paying the electrician for as much work as they could do. And I was like, okay, like what now? And he's like, I need help. At this point, he has now asked me for help. He said, can you send me $5,000? And I said, yeah, of course, I can help you. Again, love is a powerful drug. I hate myself. I hate this. I hate that I was so willing to help him. And it is what it is. But I sent him the $5,000.
Honey, I don't know if you were in love or you were just dumb. Like I get it. Yeah, love is a powerful drug. But like, what are you talking about? I don't know. Like, this is really like, there's so many red flags. And I'm trying to be kind and I am trying to be nice, but like, this is like, yeah, she was on the fucking Bachelorette, like the Bachelor. Yeah, this seems very vapid. Yeah, it's weird.
He tells me that his insurance is going to cover it, his and he will pay me back. And also, like, I'm mindful of the fact that his house is supposed to close at the end of the month. And so a week go by and we start talking about plans for the wedding. And so at first we wanted to go to Vegas, and then we looked into it, and Denmark does not recognize wedding marriages that are done in Vegas because you can get the marriage certificate and get married in the same day. Same thing with Colorado. Shout out to Denmark. I love that rule. But we're like, it's fine. We should just save money. Let's just do it in Dallas, and then we can go do a little weekend trip to Broken Bow, Oklahoma, which is like this cute lake town, and that can be our honeymoon. And he was like, okay, that works fine. We can do that. At this point, he has his flight booked to come back to Dallas in the end of January. Now we're in 2023, and he tells me that one of his really close friends that owns a plumbing business, and my ex was actually godfather of this man's son. This is confirmed. And he came to him and said that his partner in his business is like doing some like shady stuff. He's like scared that he's gonna get like implicated. He wants my ex to buy out his partner, and he's asking him for a loan of $250,000. And I'm like, wow, that's a lot of money. And this time he asked me, and we're about to get married, so now I feel like I can insert my opinion about the situation. So I asked him, like, is this just a handout or is this gonna be a good investment? And he was like, well, I think it's gonna be a really good investment. Like, he has a bunch of ideas of how to expand the business. And to me, I was like, well, if you can help a friend and have a good investment, I think that makes a lot of sense. And I, as you guys can already tell, I'm a very giving person. I've been very giving my entire life. I get it from my parents. They're very generous and selfless. And so when it comes to helping friends and family in need,
You're gullible. Your parents are giving. You are gullible. It's a very fucking different. Like, your parents sound like, in my opinion, your parents sound like they give back to their culture because it's incredibly important and ingrained in them. You are there. This is an investment of $250K. What the fuck are you talking about?
done it. If I can do it, I'll always do it. And so to me, I'm like, we have this money coming in. Let's invest it. And I own this house here and we don't have any big purchases coming up, so it's okay. Like, I wasn't really stressed and pressed about it. And so basically I was like, okay, the house is gonna close at the end of the month, and then he'll be able to like pay me back the money that he owes me, and he'll be able to help his friend, and everything will be good to go. So he ends up coming back to Dallas. We get our marriage certificate. We set our wedding date for February 10th. And I remember the night before our wedding, he got really, really bad food poisoning, which I feel like should have been another sign that this was 100% the wrong decision to make. But instead I was like, hey, in sickness and in health, like, whatever happens, we're gonna make it through. And at this point, he doesn't really have any money. I remember he looked at me, he goes, I'm sick, I'm broke, you wanna marry me still? I said, I don't care if you're sick and broke. I love you for you.
Okay. Fascinating. I'm 4 months into dating my GF, and we agreed marriage is the goal, but we've also been best friends for 1.5 years. We knew each other for several months before considering each other our best friends. Yeah, like, listen, I'm not saying that you can't get married quickly, but I do think that there's a lot of things that go into a marriage that you have to really consider. And I really fucking consider. And I don't think that she was like bright enough to consider those things. That's like very sad.
And we're getting married, and I'm so excited and ready for it. So the morning of our wedding, obviously he couldn't afford a ring at that point. And so I remember he got on one knee. I woke up that morning and he's down on one knee next to the bed, and he was like, I know this isn't the proposal you dreamed of, and I promise you I'm going to propose to you one day with a real ring, and we're going to share this with the world, but I want to ask you, will you marry me? And I said, absolutely, I'll marry you. And so we went to the courthouse. I remember I was wearing a dress for Fashion Nova because I didn't care. I was just excited to marry my person, and we got married. And I mean, I truly thought this was one of the best days of my life. I was so happy. I was grinning so big. I still have the pictures and videos from this day, and we went to Broken Bow afterwards, and we just had a great weekend in a little cabin in the woods, and it's just this cute lake town, so it's perfect. And we brought Smokey. I remember we got burgers, I made lasagna, we just stayed in and hiked, and it was a really, really wonderful honeymoon. After the wedding, he stayed in Dallas for about a week, and then he goes back to Denmark, and he had said that the house had closed. And
I wonder if she told her parents. At any time, did you tell your family you were doing this? I'd love to know if you told your family.
he was just waiting for the funds. Sometimes there's a little bit of a delay in Denmark. Again, I have no idea how this stuff works. And so while he's in Denmark, he says the funds came through. He transferred the money to his friend for the investment in the plumbing business. And he said that he was about to set the transfer for me for the money he owed me, which was about $10,000 at that point. And so a couple weeks go by, I still haven't received the money. I'm not super pressed about it because I still am like fully trusting him at this point. And he ends up booking his flight to come back to visit in March. And this trip was a trip that my dad and my mom were coming back to Dallas to come visit. And he already planned to ask my dad for my hand in marriage. And so he's about to come visit. And he calls me maybe like a couple days before he's
She didn't tell them most of this until they broke up. Thank you.
about to come to Dallas. And he said, I received the worst possible news today. And I will continue on in part 9. Hope you guys have a great night. The Danish Deception, part 9. Okay, so he calls me and he tells me that he's had the worst news that he possibly could have. The IRS has told him that he owes $318,000 in taxes. In addition to that, his dad owes $12 million in taxes. And at this point, I did not have a lot of information about his family money because I've always been the type of person, like, if your parents have money,
$12 million? They got married in 2023. She didn't tell them until 2025. There was this lady on TikTok who was defending her man about not marrying her because marriage is forever. But like like, I don't think marriage is the end all be all. I don't think marriage is the end all be all of any relationship, especially if you've been together for a period of time and you don't want to do it. Like, what the fuck are you saying?
your parents have money. That does not mean you have money. So I didn't even ask details about his parents' finances, but obviously I'm like, if his parents owe $12 million in taxes, they got money. And he said that the person that was doing his taxes for years and years, and also doing his dad's taxes, was one of his childhood friends that owns an accounting firm. And he's like, we've been paying a lot of money in taxes over the years, so someone must be completing or committing some sort of fraud at this point. And so I'm obviously freaking out. This is a lot of money that he owes. So he said, you know what, I'm gonna use the rest of the proceeds from selling my home. And in addition to that, he told me at this point he owns 3 different watches. He owns 2 Rolexes and a Patek watch, which if you're not a watch person, these are very expensive watches. And so a couple hours go by, he's like, I sold my Patek watch, and like he said he sold it at a loss. He just needed to get the money. He said he's short about $30K. And so he told me that he's gonna reach out to his parents, and his parents are like, we don't care, like this is not our problem, this is your problem. Figure it out. And he starts to just like, you know, continue spiraling. And so he tells me he's gonna reach out to 2 of his childhood friends, one of which he was with this friend whenever we met in Croatia. So I knew they'd been friends for a while, and then another childhood friend.
My God.
And he told me I've helped out these friends so much in the past, like, and it's almost like he was communicating to me that he was owed this money from them. I've never asked friends for money before, so this is like not anything that I'm comfortable with. But I was like, hey, if you feel comfortable doing this, go.
Okay. Fascinating.
Go for it. I had not offered him a cent. So he comes back, says he's gonna get $10,000 from one friend and then $5,000 from another friend. And I was like, that's so nice of them. He's like, I've honestly helped them so much in the past that like I'm grateful that they're helping me when I'm in need. And so at this point he's short $15,000. And so he just comes right out and asks me, like, can I borrow it? And I did not say yes right away. I said, listen, I have to pay my taxes too because I was working at an accounting firm. Obviously that's a W-2 income, but I was also doing real estate. I did very well the year before, so I owed a pretty penny in taxes. And it's March of 2023, so my taxes are coming up pretty soon.
Okay.
And so I told him, like, I'm not comfortable giving you this money because, you know, like I have to pay taxes too. And now my savings is like really starting to like, I'm starting to feel like the financial impact, and it's starting to stress me out. And he said, you know, I hired a law firm. They've already looked into my tax records. They've already found indicators of fraud. I think I'm gonna be able to get this turned around really quickly. And my biggest worry and concern is that if I don't pay this tax bill, it's gonna affect my chances of getting a green card. And that's when I start to panic. And now I realize I was just in a very toxic cycle of emotional manipulation. But after some time, he talked me into loaning him the $15,000. And I remember I only could send him like $3K at a time. And so I remember it was like over like the course of 5 days, like every day he'd be like, hey, don't forget to send the payment. And everything about this felt so wrong in my soul, but I did it anyways. And this was not something that I kept quiet about. Like I told my parents, I told my siblings, like,
this lady is an idiot. Denmark doesn't do that IRS bull where taxes can sneak up with you. They just send you the bill more or less and you just confirm it's right.
Insane. In-fucking-sane. Yeah, I gotta do my taxes this year. This will be an interesting tax year. I gotta do them.
my ex got this crazy tax bill, and you know, they were all aware that we were going through this like financial hiccup, and I didn't like want to be presented as these people with money, so I was very upfront and honest about it. And like you can ask a lot of my friends, like I told a lot of my close people about this situation.
Oh, shit.
And quick side note, I did not tell them.
It's time to feed that dog. It's time to feed the pupper. It's time to give her treats. It's time to feed that dog now on the Uplock stream tonight. Yes, everybody, it's time to feed that. Where are you, girl? That dog. Oh, munch, 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 munch. God damn, girl, why you gotta bite me? Guys, she's like fucking like nipping at me recently. She's like, why are my treats? Where are my treats? Insane. But thank you guys so much. And remember, every time we hit the doobly-doo goal, That dog gets fed. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's listen to more of the Danish deception.
I was loaning him money. I just told them that he owed a lot of money, and I
Falgi, in a few months, Chad, I've screwed up. The IRS is hunting me down for 100K.
told him about the overall situation. But at this point, no one knows I have given him any money. So I end up giving him the money. He's so grateful. He's like, thank you so much for helping me out. And so about like 5 days later, he flies to Dallas to come and visit. And my parents came to visit maybe a couple days after he came. And at this point, he's staying in the living room, not in the bed with me, but he could not go to a hotel because we're like trying to be mindful with spending. So my parents definitely started to bond with my ex a lot more over this trip. Like I remember my dad brought him this Nigerian Igbo cane that my ex had been admiring. That my dad had one. He surprised and brought him one from Nigeria. And he actually took my dad out and asked him for my hand in marriage, even though we were already married. And my dad said yes. And my dad also broke kola nut in front of the family and like welcomed my ex into the family. It's just, I mean, it was really special. Obviously, we were dealing with a lot of financial stress, but I want you all to know that like I was happy a majority of the time, regardless of the stress I was going through, which is just insane to understand. But after a week, we ended up going to Cabo for one of my childhood friends' wedding, and I had paid for the portion of the wedding already because I had been planning on going by myself, and then obviously I got into a relationship, so I just had to pay like a little extra to add someone to the reservation. But we decided to go a couple days early and celebrate like our honeymoon, and so our flight comes, and he's staying in the living room. My parents are sleeping in the guest bed.
Okay. I don't like where this is going, honey.
And I wake up and I get a text from him, and he says, hey, can you come downstairs real quick? And I said, of course. So I go downstairs, I'm like, what's up? He said, one of my friends, the friend that he had received $5K from for the tax bill, reached out to me and said he's freaking out because his wife really wants to buy this house, and he's short a certain amount of money to purchase this home. And obviously he was like, I feel so bad because he loaned it to me because he was trying to help me out. And my biggest strength and weakness is empathy. And when I saw him hurting because his friend was not able to do something because of the money he had loaned my ex, and at this point,
Fuck me. What are you doing? You're an idiot. Yeah, guys, remember the start they were flying all over the place and he was paying for private suites. Yep. And then magically, she's starting to pay for everything. Magically.
I felt like the friend had loaned us the money. It wasn't like he loaned my ex the money because we were married. And so I do something so stupid and idiotic. I end up loaning him an additional $3K, not even a week after I already given him $15K. So I actually ended up giving him $18,000 in the month of March of 2023. Yes, I'm sick to my stomach. So I can send him the money. We end up going to the airport, fly to Cabo. We have an amazing trip. And at this point, I had just hard launched him on my Instagram Valentine's Day prior. So at this point, I hard launched him after we were already married. And we were in Cabo, and I'm like posting more photos of him on my social media. And I'm going through my Instagram story views, and I'm looking at the names, and I'm seeing all of these Danish names. I can tell they're Danish names because there's a different Danish alphabet. And so I'm clicking through my profiles, and a lot of them you can see like my ex is like the mutual, like follows them. And so I brought it up to him like, hey, all these Danish people are watching my story, but I thought it was weird that no one was like following me. I'm like, these are your friends. Like, and I wanted him to maintain the same friendships in Denmark, even though he was moving to the States, because I never want to be the type of person that takes a man away from his friends and family. And so I remember I'm clicking profiles, and I click a girl's profile, and I look at the first picture, and I see my ex's dog, and that's something that I actually haven't mentioned. My ex did have a dog.
Okay.
And every time he came to visit, he had a friend that was watching the dog. And whenever he sold his place and decided that he was going to spend more time in Dallas, his dog ended up getting adopted by some people because he's like, I just am not home enough. And at first I told him like, bring the dog to Dallas. Like, I wanted the dog to come. He's like, no, it's fine. Like, that does not make sense to you. And I supported his decision. And he told me that the ex could not take the dog because she was in med school and was constantly out of the home, and she just did not have the capacity to take care of the dog. But I see his dog, and it's like a duck-toller retriever. Duck-tolling retriever, I think that's how you say it. I saw his dog as a puppy on this girl's profile, and I clicked the tag, and my ex's tag. And so I look at him, I go, is this your ex-girlfriend? He was like, oh yeah, it is. I was like, oh, so she's watching my stories. He's like, yeah. I was like, okay, that's a little weird. And I remember checking like throughout the course of like every day for like a week, and like all these Danish people are still watching my story every day. And I'm like, don't you think this is weird that there's like 15 Danish people watching my story every day? And he's like, honestly, I just feel like they're a little bit salty that I like moved on. I'm moving to America. Like I think they might be a little salty. And he said, you should just block them all. Like I'm not gonna lie, this is like a very toxic group of people. And so I was like, is that what you want me to do? He said, yeah, just block them all. Like they're not here for the right reasons. They're just looking to like creep, and they're probably just talking a bunch of shit. So I said, okay. And I decided to block them all. And so basically we come back from Cabo. He stays for about a month, and then he goes back to Denmark. And at this point, he had come to visit me so many times, and so I decided, now's my time to go spend time with him in Europe. And with his dad's help.
Okay. When is... Okay. You're losing me, sister.
And his work, it made sense for me to just, go out
I'm getting lost in the sauce.
of my way to try to spend time with him, and I could work remote at the time. And so I board a flight, and I head to Denmark for the first time, and I land in Denmark, and I will continue on in part 10. The Danish Deception, part 10. So I land in Denmark after a couple of layovers, and my ex is waiting after baggage claim. He's waving a Danish flag, and I'm just so excited to be in Denmark for the first time. And so we land, we go to one of his friends' homes because we're staying there for the night. We change, and we go directly to an Easter lunch with him and all of his childhood friends. So I walk in, and everyone is just so nice. And it's his childhood friends and like their wives and girlfriends. And everyone was just super kind to me. We were drinking, having fun. After a while, I was super jet lagged. So we ended up going back to his friend's house. That's where we stayed that night.
I just realized she hasn't even gone to this fucking guy's home country. What the fuck? Want some spoilers about the ex-girlfriend? I'm sure they were all dating at the same time, and he was shifting money around for each girl. I'm sure that then someone was gonna try to warn her. Like, that's what happens. Like, they all fucking like shift the money around. And someone probably was trying to warn her, and they were following him and trying to figure out, because they're going to say he's a fucking scammer. Yeah, I'm curious. Yeah, okay. Let's see about the house.
And the following day, he gives me the hometown tour. So he shows me where he got baptized. He shows me his elementary school, and we're just exploring. And I just feel so grateful to like see his roots, see where he grew up. And after the day of exploring, we go to his parents' house. And this is my first time meeting his parents. And I am so nervous. I've always done really well with parents, but this is, a different situation because number one, there's not a whole lot of black people in Denmark. So they're not used to meeting people that look like me. Also, this man has made it very clear that he's moving to America. So you can only imagine how a mother might feel about the woman that's moving her son 5,000 miles away. So I was really, really nervous, but I'm not even kidding. The second I walked in, me and his mom instantly connected. And I think we bonded over our mutual love for my ex. And so it was his parents and his sister and her boyfriend that she had just recently started dating. We're all at this dinner. She cooked a very traditional Danish meal. It's called flæskesteg. I remember I had seconds, I had thirds. I think that made her fall in love with me even more because what mother doesn't want a girl that's gonna eat their food. And so I brought her like a bunch of gifts, her and his father. I brought them gifts from Dallas, and we just really bonded that first day. She brought out all these photo albums and was showing me like my ex's childhood photos, and it was a really special night. I remember
Is the family in on it is a question. Yeah, they're all like speaking English, I guess, by the way.
my ex kept being like, are you sure you're okay with staying here? Because one thing I will say is they lived in a very, very humble home. And listen, I know there's billionaires out there that drive Honda Civics, so I don't judge. I'm never the type of person being like, why are you guys staying in this small house? Spend your money the way you want to spend your money. So I didn't think anything of it. But I was a little bit surprised. And also Denmark is not the type of place that has all these like big houses. Like a lot of the homes are small regardless of if you have money. But again, didn't think anything of it. So we have a great dinner. The following day, we start going and having these like day trips all over Denmark and going to explore. And it's always me, my ex, and his parents. And one day we
No. Not sure, but the sister specifically he doesn't get along with, she's not in on it. He's probably translating. Sure. I would agree with that.
We went to this area called Skagen, which is the most northern part of Denmark. And it's really beautiful. And it was just fun to go and explore. And we're driving home and my ex starts yelling at his dad. His dad is yelling back. They just start going at it. And obviously they're speaking Danish. I have no clue what they're saying. My ex pulls over. He gets out of the car, storms out, starts like walking away. I get out of the car. I chase after him. I'm like, what's happening? What's happening? And he was like, my dad basically just said that he's over today. He just wants to go back and watch his game. And I was like, and he basically said he was really upset because he felt like his dad wasn't making an effort to get to know me. And that's when I realized that him and his dad had a really, really toxic relationship. And I also noticed that like they basically exchanged like 1 to 2 sentences a day. I also noticed that he wasn't as close with his sister, his little sister, because I mean, they would talk all the time. So I thought that was a little strange too. But I don't know, I'm still trying to really understand this family dynamic. But what I do know is that he's a mama's boy. He's close with his mom, which, that was really, really important to me. There were a few things that I took away from this trip. The first being that he is a little bit embarrassed of his family's home. He kept saying, do you want to go stay in a hotel or Airbnb? Do we want to stay here? And I'm like, why would we not stay here? Like if I went to go visit my parents and I wanted to stay in Airbnb, they'd be devastated. I was like, of course we're staying here. And he was like, I know it's not like nice. It's just like, I don't understand they have all this money. Like why don't they do it? I'm like, it's fine. Like don't worry, we'll be okay. Another thing I noticed was that I did not meet the older sister. No one spoke of her. And I knew at this point she had 1 kid at this point. So they talked about her a little bit, but it was kind of like the elephant in the room. Like no one really talked about it. And I know they don't have a relationship. They can't be with each other in intimate settings. But overall, like I did have a good trip with him despite the tension. So after a week, we traveled to Copenhagen, and I remember getting to Copenhagen, and I'm immediately just so happy to be there because this city exceeded my expectations. It's a beautiful, beautiful city. And we ended up staying in a hotel, like a cheaper hotel by the water, and I can stay anywhere. I'm good. I don't need to stay anywhere bougie. I remember him being like, I hate that we have to stay here. Like, it's not nice. I'm like, I don't care. Like, we have a bed, we have a place to stay. It's okay. And so we spent that whole week just exploring Copenhagen, and then we get ready to travel to Nigeria for my grandmother's burial. And so at this point, we're staying in this hotel, and I remember there was like a laundromat at this hotel.
Yeah, what happened to Dad's leukemia? What's happened to the blood poisoning? Like, there's so much happening.
I was doing laundry and he said, I'm gonna go and get a few things from my storage unit because he's moved out of his place at this point. He has a storage unit. And so he comes back home and he has like this Rolex box. And he's like, oh, this is one of my Rolexes. I want to show it to you. And at this point, I had already seen his steel, the Batman. I already had seen that watch. He had brought it out for Cabo. So I've seen one of his watches. The Patek he sold, I never saw it. So now this is the second watch he's bringing out. And he opens it. And it's, again, I did not know anything about watches before this, but now I know it's a day-date presidential watch with a green base. So he ends up telling me this is like a $50,000 watch. I was like, this is nice. And keep in mind, we're about to leave for Nigeria in like a day. I'm like, why'd you bring it out? And he's like, oh, I'm gonna bring it to Nigeria. I go, you're gonna do what? And he's like, I'm bringing it to Nigeria. I'm like, you cannot bring a $50,000 watch to Nigeria. And he's like, yeah, I can. And I'm like, this does not make sense. And he said, no, like this is a special occasion. Like I want to bring it out for this. And so I told him, okay, I feel very uncomfortable, especially like us being in the village and you're wearing this like expensive watch. You're just asking yourself to get robbed. I just did not understand it, but whatever. He ends up packing the watch. We get ready and we hop on a flight to go to Nigeria and meet my family for my grandmother's burial.
If I hear the watch disappears in Nigeria and if I hear the watch disappears in Nigeria and magically he is asking for money for the watch, I may actually crash out. It doesn't? Okay. Because I don't know how much more of this I'll do tonight. I may do a part 2 tomorrow, maybe? If there's like no other dramas that are going on. Because like this is interesting. I just don't know if it's 4 hours in a row interesting.
Keep in mind,
Zach, thank you for the 5, brother.
There's so much to unpack here. Unfortunately, we're in a goddamn morgue.
Yeah, I would agree. Thank you so much. Thank you for the 5. Thank you for the 5.
He had paid for all the hotels, everything in Denmark, and he paid for all the hotels and flights for Nigeria. And so we hop on a plane, go to Nigeria. I'm super nervous because I just don't know what to expect and how he's gonna react. But we go, we meet up with my family, and he does so well. And it was funny because everyone wanted to take photos with him, and he was meeting my extended family, like my grandmother. I never thought I would bring a man home to meet my grandmother. I felt like I fell deeper in love with him, watching him just immerse himself in my culture and be there for my family while we put my grandmother to rest. And it was just a really amazing, beautiful trip. Honestly, there was nothing crazy that happened. And he tells me while we're in Nigeria that the law firm has settled the issue with his taxes and they're filing a document for the accounting firm to pay out a settlement, and it'll be paid out soon, and he'll be able to transfer me the money that I'm owed. And so I'm like, oh, I'm breathing deeply, and it's awkward because I want to bring it up to him all the time. He's also paying for everything, so I feel like I don't want to put too much pressure on him, even though I should have. So we come back to Denmark, and at this point, we are trying to figure out what our plan is when we're going to come back to the States. And he says, you know what, like, let's just go back to my parents' house in my hometown. They were actually on a vacation, so the house was empty, and we can figure out what we want to do next. And I said, okay, that sounds good. So we go to his parents' house, and at this point, I'm still working remote. So I remember I was at the dining table working, and he walks up to me and he says, I have some really, really good news. I was like, what's up? He said, my realtor just reached out to me and said there's a very wealthy family that is interested in purchasing this apartment complex. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is the best news in the world. And he said, there is one caveat, and I will continue on in part 11. The Danish Deception, part 11. Okay, so he tells me that his realtor has found a buyer for this apartment complex, and there's one caveat. So apparently it's a very wealthy family. He did not know who this wealthy family was, but this family, the way they draft up the contracts, whenever they have to buy a property for tax purposes, and there's like a certain cutoff for when they need to acquire a property, they have like their own contract drafted up that basically requires the buyer and the seller to put money into escrow, so that if the seller changes their mind of selling the house, they get liquidated damages. Basically, make sure the deal goes through. I have never experienced anything like this in my real estate career. Obviously, Denmark is a different country. I didn't really know how real estate worked there, so not only is it different rules and guidelines, but it's also I've never worked with like a super ultra wealthy family before to understand that this might be a requirement or something added in their contracts. And so I remember being like, how much is it going to be? And he's like, oh, it's going to be like $120,000. I remember just like being like, well, we don't have this money. Like, there's no way we can make this work. And so he said, I'm going to be able to come up with a loan, get a loan from a bank. I already called them. I can get a loan from them for like $100,000. So we're just going to be short another amount. And at this point, my accounts are dwindling. And because I was in this long distance relationship, I was not focused on doing real estate at all. Like, I had taken a full step back from real estate. But I did have a career where I was making well over 6 figures. So I still was like making a pretty steady income, but my savings had been dwindling down. So I didn't have a whole lot of money left. So I remember at this point, he's like, we should make this deal work. And I'm seeing this as a way to get out of our financial position. And let me just
Oh, I muted myself. Fuck me. I muted myself. I was crashing out. So, yeah, I rage muted. I was reading that. So for everyone who is now caught up, it's the idea that there's like a joint account that they need to have. Because I was getting a fucking cookie. I have cookies and I wanted a cookie. So I got a cookie. I got like the Tate's double chocolate chip cookies. Very good. But yeah, like, what is happening? What is happening in this fucking thing?
say my ex, if he wasn't such a narcissistic psychopath, he'd be such a great actor, because the way he sold this stuff to me, like, it was insane. So I remember he said that he was going to take his watches to a store to see if he could get it sold within 24 hours. Obviously, that might be kind of difficult. And so at this point, he's like, how much money do you have? And I was like, I really don't have a whole lot of money to give you. So I remember I gave him like a small amount, maybe like 3,000, because I wanted to make sure I had enough money for like bills and miscellaneous. I just wanted to have a little bit of cushion. And I was getting stressed out, but he ended up coming up with the money. He says the deal goes through and that it's going to close in 6 weeks. And so he tells me what I think I'm going to do is switch my address from Denmark to the States, especially since I have been living in the States more, and I'll be able to save money on taxes. And at this point, I was like, is this tax evasion? He goes, this is absolutely not tax evasion, because I am
What? Girl, you work in the financial thing. You work in accounting. You said it was tax evasion. That's a tax evasion!
spending more time in Dallas than I am in Denmark. And I said, okay, well, if you've done research and you feel certain about this, then I believe you. So the deal goes through. It says it's going to close in 6 weeks. And so he said, we should take a trip to celebrate. And I'm like, we don't have any money. And he was like, well, we can just use your credit card because, you know, like, we'll be able to pay it off whenever the money hits. And this is probably one of the most like idiotic decisions I made. Y'all don't have to tell me this is stupid. I'm fully aware. But we ended up going to Portugal for a week, and we used my credit cards the majority of this trip.
I'm crashing out. I'm personally crashing out. What the fuck do you mean? You went to Portugal for a week. And like, oh, I'll just use my fucking credit card.
He had a little bit of money because, keep in mind, he is working as chief commercial officer for this tech company, and that was 100% real. And he was making about $400,000 a year. Again, 100% real. I, at certain times, have verified the money hitting his account from his company. So he...
What are you saying? What are you saying? So he had all this money and like, huh? Oh, you're an idiot. Oh, honey, you are stupid. Girl, where was his money going?
He's making money, even though we're having a lot of financial stress. He's still bringing in a steady income. I'm still bringing in a steady income. So he was able to pay a little bit of the trip, and I was able to pay a little bit of the trip. So we go to Portugal. We have the most spectacular week. I remember that was the week that I decided I want to get married in this country. I love it here. It's so beautiful. I was working still at this time, and with the time difference, I was basically working from like 5 to midnight. And there was one day while we were in Portugal that I was just complaining about working. I'm like, I'm so over this job, and I'm not happy with what I'm doing. I was just complaining about it. And he just said, why don't you quit? And I remember looking at him like, what do you mean quit? And he said, well, we have this money coming in, and I want you to be happy. I want you to do something that brings you joy. And
Okay. This will probably be the final part for the night. So I'm curious what fucking cliffhanger I'm about to be on.
real estate brings you joy. And
Are we sure she isn't brain damaged? So she did fall early in the relationship, and she did suffer some kind of brain trauma. So maybe.
I really hadn't been doing a whole lot of real estate that year. And so I told him, I said, well, it's going to be like kind of a transition. I'm not going to be making a lot of money. At first he said, well, we're going to have a cushion. And luckily I make money. I'm going to be able to afford all the bills, and you can just focus on building your business back up. And so I was like, are you sure? He said, yes. And let me tell you, everything about this decision, it felt right, but also felt wrong. And let me tell you, I do not regret quitting my job. I regret the timing because we were not in a great financial position. And
I would regret quitting my job. That's actually fucking insane. That's the most insane. I don't regret quitting my job. He is stealing from you. What do you mean you don't regret quitting your job? What the fuck are you saying? What are you saying? He's losing a lot of money at the time, if you think about it. I wonder how he manages to do so. Yeah, exactly.
I was making like $150,000 a year at this job. So it was a very steady, stable income. And I trusted him to be my provider, and that was stupid. And I have never relied on a man for anything in my entire life, and I will never do it again, like never in a million years. But you know, you live and you learn, and I made the decision to put in my 2 weeks notice. And yes, I know that was idiotic. Y'all don't have to tell me. And so we go to Portugal, come back to Denmark, and we're in Denmark for maybe a day, and then we travel back to Dallas. And at this point, your girl is hurting financially, because now I'm accruing like a little bit of credit card debt. My savings is like nothing. And at this point, I'm fully trusting him, and I believe him when he says we are going.
What are you saying then? If you're accruing the debt, if you're having all these issues, don't do this.
To overcome this circumstance very, very, very soon. And keep in mind, at this point, I have not caught this man in a single lie. And obviously, I gave out my trust way too easily. But in my mind, I was thinking, why should I question him when he's never given me a reason to? Which is crazy because I feel like he was giving me all the reasons with all these red flags. But we go back to Dallas, and I remember his sister and her boyfriend came to visit us for a week, and we had a good time with them. I felt like he was super annoyed with them the entire time. He was complaining. He was just like, I just feel like they're being super cheap. They don't want to do anything. And it just felt like, again, I thought him and his sister would be a lot closer. It was weird. So we have.
You'll lose it when you realize how he blows through all the money. Well, okay, so if this is if this is Tinder swindler-esque, he is probably going on multiple dates with oh no, but he's with them, like, he's with her a lot though. Because if they're living together at a time, and he's visiting her so often, he can't be like, maybe he is visiting other women. Because I watched Tinder Swindler. That was a good one. I'm curious. I'm actually curious. He's not doing a Ponzi scheme. Yeah, that's what I'm like. Yeah, no, that's what I'm telling you. Like, it's really interesting.
A great trip with them visiting us, and
I'll tell you this: he's only dating / married to her. Fascinating.
And we go to Miami and meet up with his best friend and his girlfriend. And this was the best friend he was with whenever I met him in Croatia. So we're in Miami, and for the most part, we're using my funds for this trip because he's obviously put most of his money into his escrow account. And he paid for a little bit of stuff, but he didn't have a whole lot. And I'm expecting this money to hit like any day now. So a couple days after Miami, we went to Denmark to celebrate his mom's 70th birthday. We had promised her we would go. So we actually booked a round trip flight from Copenhagen when we came back home in June. So now it's August of 2023, and we're in Denmark. And I remember we're at his parents' house, and he comes to me, he's like, hey, I just got off the phone with the IRS, and they said they flagged the transaction from the apartment complex. And at first, I'm like pissed. I'm like, I asked you if this was gonna be a problem. He's like, it's not gonna be a problem. They're probably just gonna take out like some taxes, not the full amount. They just need to review it, and then we'll figure it out. But I'm not concerned. You shouldn't be concerned either, even though I was super concerned. He said they set a hearing date for September 10th. At this point, it's the middle of August. So I'm like, okay, so now I have to be struggling for another month. And so I'm frustrated, but he's also like trying to calm me down, but also like gaslighting me for feeling the way I'm feeling. And so I'm just, all my emotions, I'm just stuffing them in all the way. So we celebrate his mom's 70th birthday, and this is when I meet like his entire extended family, like dad and mom's siblings, all their friends, and I meet the older sister, and she's there. At this point, she's pregnant with her second child. Oh
no, they flagged it. The money that was coming in.
there with her first child. I meet her, and she is just such a nice, kind, wonderful human. And I just can't picture her being this evil, crazy woman that beats his mom. And so I remember just feeling a little at odds about that, but I'm still fully trusting my ex 100%. So a couple days after his mom's birthday, we're all hanging out at his parents' house and we're grilling. And I remember we all started to notice kind of around the same time that his dad does not look like he's doing well, and we're starting to get a little bit concerned. And that's when my ex's mom makes a decision, like, we need to take him to the hospital. And so we pack his bags, we load him up, we go to the hospital, and I'm freaking out because I don't know if things can take a drastic turn or not. And so we're waiting at the hospital, waiting to see what the doctors will say, and I will continue on in part 12.
That is where we're going to leave off. I am fascinated. Okay, so we're at fucking part 12. Now, chat, here's my running theory. Would you like to see my running theory? I think I know what he's spending his money on. I'm going to turn off the window capture. And I'm going to tell you what I think that he's spending the money on. Okay? Give me a theory. Okay. What is okay? Here we go, chat. Are you ready? Are you ready? Okay, here we go. I got it. I've got it. It's gonna be great. Okay. Is this the thing I'm looking for? Okay. Is Potato in the chat? Is Embray in the chat? I'm looking for specific people. Is B in the chat? Are you guys ready for what I think he's spending the money on? He's spending the money on the horse girls! He's spending the money on the horse girls! Oh, I'm so tickled, please! I'm gonna show my face for this! I'm fucking red! Oh my god! Oh my god! It's so fucking... Oh my god! He's spending the money on the fucking horses! I didn't even know they do this! What am I looking at? I asked, by the way, where the fuck are the boy horses? I was told those don't exist, apparently? What the fuck is happening? Or they kind of exist? He's buying the horses! Guys, he needs his gacha rolls! He needs the gacha rolls! The microtransactions are hitting! Remember the humans marry the horse girls? It's canon. I forgot about that. Okay, well, chat, that was a great stream. I want to thank everybody for being here. That was really fun. I'm actually kind of excited to continue the rest of this tomorrow. I'm going to try to do maybe an earlier stream. I don't know if I'm going to have the ability to, but I am going to try my hardest. But yeah, that's pretty much it. There's nobody to raid you guys to, so it will be a raidless night. But big special thanks to everybody who donated today. Tipped. Remember, tomorrow we're gonna try to go over the rest of this. Yes, the dog is very absolute comfy right now. This husband, she sleeps in this husband. She likes sleeping in it, so I put it there. But yes, chat. Thank you guys so much. It's time for the end card. Goodbye, everybody. Nobody is live. See ya later.